Good evening, everybody. It's Tuesday. It's Thursday, October 9th, 2025. It's a regular planning meeting of council. I'd like to call the meeting to order and adopt the agenda. Be it resolved that the meeting be called to order and that the agenda for the meeting be adopted and circulated. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Council Pat moves. Can I have a seconder? Council Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. There are no addendums to it, so now there's going down to 5.1. We're going to be reconvening the public hearing conditional use CU 3425. Be it resolved that this meeting of council recess for the purpose of reconvening a public hearing pursuant to section 105A of the Planning Act. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Council Pat moves. Can I have a seconder?
I'll second.
Council Kleiber seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing and seeing none, carried. I'll let the planner take over.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As noted last month, I'll just kind of go over this application briefly, just to refresh everyone's memory. This is conditional use number 34. It's for a property located on Miller Road. What the applicant is asking for is a conditional use approval to allow for a storage container to be placed on the property. So here's the subject property that we're talking about. So you can see it outlined in black. And here's a bit of a site plan that the applicant provided showing the proposed trailer, C-can, however we want to call it, in the orange there. I've just kind of flipped this around so north is oriented to the top of the page because I know that's what you're used to looking at. Council adjourned this, I believe, to allow for the applicant to have a bit of an opportunity to come back with some ideas or some information on how the C-can could, I guess, not look like a C-can, look to be fitting within the context of the neighborhood. So that's all we have. I guess we'll call on the applicant. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, state your name and address, please.
It's,
Sorry. That's good. Cherry from 2645 Miller Road.
Okay,
Bernard Bonifacio, 2645 Miller Road.
okay, good. So I guess, we had a discussion last time. You were going to come back with us with some new information. I guess if you could present it, that would be appreciated.
I just brought some pictures of like our plan and like some inspirations for the storage container.
Okay,
As per requested by the council and by
Should I give it?
yeah, by all
Honorable
means.
Mayor.
You called it a storage container, but it's not a storage container. It's a trailer, right?
That's
You got a
what,
kitchen in there, you got a living room, you got a washroom, so it's not a storage.
no washroom. It's only like a kitchen, but it's not finished. I don't know.
I understand you're gonna put a toilet in there.
No.
Yeah, actually.
Not anymore? You changed it now?
Yeah, no, we have never put in a toilet, so we're thinking now we're not gonna put any.
Okay, but you're
Yeah.
gonna put a kitchen in and you're gonna put a living room in.
We have pictures.
Okay, well, let's see
please
your
share it with
pictures.
us.
So this is what the inside looks like.
That doesn't look like a storage trailer. Very nice, but it's not a storage trailer.
And then this is the outside.
I'll pass them down.
Yeah, and then this was made from like one of the engineers that we were in contact with before. Just the original plan. And then some info so we had for the trailer, like something like this. This was from BC. And then this was just online.
Your lot is narrow, right? But your
Oh, yeah, yeah.
your house is fairly large, right? You got some lights on the trailer already?
Yeah, we do. Yes.
And, excuse me, and correction from last hearing also, the trailer is like 500 feet away from the road, like different than what we have said last time, that only 300 feet.
Oh,
What's this?
that's my mom's garden. You can go inside.
Those are other ones. I've seen those lots on Facebook.
And we also talked to our neighbors and got them to sign. Like everyone on our
Street.
on our street.
Yeah.
All your neighbors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the one that opposed you?
We have
They
talked to
didn't-
them
yeah, we talked.
last night,
No,
Tuesday night.
we talked to them after the hearing, and then we talked to them about the plan too. They didn't get to sign because I thought they were coming today, but they're not here. Yeah. But everyone else, even our other neighbors, signed like beside us.
Like we're only like 7 houses on the street.
Yeah, and even like some from Blackdale signed too, like Kelro, the farm. They also
Yeah, we know
signed.
Kelro.
Yeah.
Can we see the
Yeah.
sign-in sheet?
Carroll is a long ways from you, though.
Carol,
drive by like on their tractors.
Still a long way from you.
they used to use our
They use our land, so they drive by a lot.
Yeah, but their house where they live is
Yeah.
a long way from where you are.
Yeah.
So they're not going to experience any problems.
Yeah.
If there's problems, right?
We also encourage them to come, but they're maybe busy.
So yes, your garden, tell me, how big is your garden? What's the size of your garden, do you know?
I took a picture of it. It's I don't know, but
One of those
it's
pictures.
almost the size of the trailer also, because it's covering the garden's covering the trailer.
So
Not
it's,
a very big garden.
And there's more inside. It's like square like that.
A little square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that trailer is specifically for your garden? Or is it for something else? Like, that's what you said, it was for your, from my understanding, from what I recall, it was for the garden.
It was used for garden stuff storage also.
Yeah,
Doesn't look
And
like that
also-
inside anymore, though, from what you're showing us there.
I even have animal feeds inside the trailer also.
Can you bring those pictures again?
All of them.
I don't know if she
Yeah,
printed
bring me
those
this
ones
double.
that
Yeah, I did.
I also have.
You're saying one thing to me, sir, but I'm seeing another. Okay, so you're saying to me, oh, this is for feed, and it's for this, and it's for that. Okay.
So we've been
I mean, the
using it.
picture, what I'm seeing here, when I look, so this is your garden, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, you got the garden down. And then. You're telling me you're putting feed in there?
We,
That's the kitchen. That's the
Yeah, this is
kitchen.
the kitchen.
So-
but-
This is a really nice kitchen with a really nice floor, and you're telling me you're putting feed in here?
we've been using it as storage because it hasn't been.
That's where you're putting your feed?
Correct. That's what.
Sorry, I'm not buying it, but okay.
but that's what we were using. We used that to store feed since
Before
last
you
year.
renovated it?
And it's until now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
'Cause,
we're
we're
That
like,
makes more sense.
because we're like,
we're waiting for the hearing. That's why we've been putting our storage in there. But it is just for a hangout spot.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's more realistic.
Yeah.
This is for hanging out.
Yeah.
So you can keep the mess out of the house, because you got a beautiful house.
Yeah.
And I'm sure mom doesn't want the mess in the house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's the truth of it.
Yeah, which for hanging out. But right now, like we haven't, ever since we've been told that it wasn't allowed, we stopped everything that we were doing and just put whatever, use the storage.
Okay. I'll give those back.
I have a question in terms of the kitchen. So you have a sink. How are you supplying water to the sink?
as per Red River Planning, they said we can put water inside as long as it's gonna go to our house. It goes straight to the trailer. Right now, we're using a hose to get water from the garden. So maybe we're gonna do the same from the trailer.
What do we have?
But wait, hold it. You have water, you have a garden hose to the trailer?
No.
No, not right
Okay,
now.
not, or you will have a garden hose to the trailer?
Yes.
But-
Okay,
The plan was to have a sink, but if it's too expensive, if we can't do it, it's fine. Like we're not gonna put it in. It's not in right now. We were only looking to put in like something to heat up with, like what's that called? Like an electric, or I don't know.
If you put in a kitchen, though, you're gonna put in a sink. I mean, come on. Honestly,
I
you're
don't
gonna
know.
have a kitchen in there without a sink?
I don't know. Like
That would be very strange.
I don't think it's meant for cooking though. Like what we're planning to do.
But you said
It's-
earlier you're gonna warm up food and stuff in there.
Yeah, like food that we've cooked inside our house to bring out to keep heated,
So why do you need cupboards then?
to store things in.
Yeah, it just seems to me that you are using this as a secondary living space. It's not really for storage. It's a secondary living space. That's what you should be asking for.
I don't.
I think that you're kind of trying to say to us, oh, it's kind of living storage, but it's storage, but it's really a place to hang out, for you to be out there. You've got a kitchen, you're gonna put in a sink. Let's just come clean and say that's what it is, and then we can vote on that, whether or not we're gonna allow that, right? Because in essentially, what we have to do is we see there is the bylaw zoning, and in this bylaw zoning, this is not allowed, okay? So you come to us for conditional use. It's called, give me an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
We have to look at all the facts and whether or not we want to make this exception.
Yeah.
It's not anybody's right. Just because it's your property, you don't have a right to have it. You have to go by the zoning of the property.
Yeah.
And we have to decide whether or not we think that use is good for that area and for your surrounding neighbors.
Yeah.
And if I make that decision in favor of you, then I've got to understand that 10 more people are going to line up and ask for the same favor.
Yeah. I understand.
So that's something I have to weigh in that process.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad you understand that.
anyone have any more questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you. Oh, you got one? Go ahead.
There was no drawings in there of what are you intending to do to the outside of the trailer if we approve this? Like, we were asking of, are you gonna paint it? Are you gonna dress it up at all? Well, I understand there's, ones you've picked up off the internet, but there's nothing saying this is what we're prepared to do to it if it's approved. Those are all just, I wish I could have that. Well,
We were thinking painting, but I think we're gonna have to just do more research on how we can make it similar to what we have on our picture here. I'm not sure what it's made out of, but we were thinking painting it, and then also having putting up a roof over it.
Okay,
So, yeah,
Go ahead.
I just want to probe a little bit more because there's a decision that we have to make.
Yeah.
And so it seems as though there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding this project. So I'm not sure that I feel confident to be able to approve something that's uncertain by the applicant. So if you can tell me that you're certain that you're going to do this, or you're certain that you're going to do that, I feel more confident. But if it's uncertain, then what that means is that it could stay in that state for a long period of time if it's approved. That's a concern.
Yeah,
That's a
I
concern.
understand, yeah.
So
Yeah.
then, are you then prepared to maybe close off the application and come back when you're ready with a plan? Or are you asking us to make a decision on something that you're uncertain of proceeding with?
I don't know how else, like, we could be more prepared, because we have, like, all, like,
So the question from one of the counselors was, what are you going to do? From the last meeting, we asked if there was going to be an effort made to modify the exterior of the trailer so that it looks more aesthetically pleasing.
yeah.
And so you're saying to us today that you're not sure. That's what you're saying to me.
Oh.
Because you said, well, but we're going to think about it. We're not sure. That's what I heard. I didn't hear that, we're going to put blue siding on it. We're going to absolutely put a roof by the end of November. I didn't hear that certainty.
Oh, okay, well,
I just hear that there's a lot of uncertainty. So that means if we approve something, it may never get done.
yeah, I understand.
So then I'm asking you then, are you prepared to close off the application instead and come back at a future date when you're ready to proceed with the project? Or are you asking us to make a decision based on your uncertainty?
I just feel like once we're allowed to work on it, we can work on it. Like, we have a lot of families that can help us to paint and put up, and we're in contacts with engineers.
So then do you need another month to come back with a certain plan? Because when we do a conditional use, and maybe the planner can speak to it, once we approve it, it's approved. And if nothing happens to improve what we're hoping to see happen, then that's on us. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I'm asking, can you give us some confidence so that we have confidence to approve it? Like, we need some confidence.
How can I give you confidence?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm asking you, do you need another month to get organized, sorted out?
I thought we were supposed to bring in our pictures, what it looks like right now, and our, like, what it
What's
would...
gonna be
what it would
after.
look like.
After.
Well, I can say
Like-
this, it does look nice inside.
Yeah.
But we did make a comment saying that there was a concern that, the aesthetics of the trailer, and that we were asking if you can come back with some renderings or pictures or a
Yeah,
hold on, or a plan that shows us what you're going to do, right? And so we're looking for some certainty on that. But if you're just telling me just approve it, and then we'll figure it out in the future, we're not sure. I'm trying to help you out, but I need some certainty.
Well, I thought these were the...
The inside looks fine. It's the exterior. So
Yeah.
we're laser focusing
Like-
on the exterior now. So you're saying that, okay, so if I say on the condition that your trailer must look like that in a certain period of time, you're going to achieve it?
Sure, yes.
Okay.
go ahead, Councilor Shetty.
One more thing that was brought up last meeting is because you have to go through permitting at the planning board, have you looked at the codes that you're gonna have to bring that trailer up to, through all the steps that you want to do it? You said you were gonna go back and see how extensive the code was gonna be to bring that up to the standard and work out a cost to see if it was even feasible.
What I know is that we needed a building permit for it. And then it would need to get inspected by an engineer, a structural engineer.
But also it would need to go through electrical inspection.
Yeah.
Framing, like, it's basic, Mr. Planner, if I can just clarify, it's just like building a house where you'd have to you're adding electrical, it would have to be checked and,
You're correct. There would need to be permits, and the scope of what's all involved really depends on what precisely the applicant is proposing. To Councillor Pactican's notion of asking what exactly are you proposing? If we're proposing a roof structure on top of it, that needs a permit. And if there's trusses involved, that needs to be engineered. If there's going to be plumbing involved, that needs to be taken into consideration. If there's plumbing involved because there aren't municipal services, it is going to need an approval from the province for what do you do with the gray water? Or if there's a washroom inside, what do you do with the sewer? Where's all that going? So in terms of I guess, the number of inspections or the scope of the exact amount of work, I don't know, because I'm not hearing exactly what's happening, but there will need to be permits involved. And there will be a cost beyond just the permit cost with our office, obviously hiring professionals to undertake the work and doing the professional drawings.
so back to that, as I was just going by what you showed us in your drawings or your pictures, you know, it's drywalled, I see there's lighting on the roof, there's light switches, there's plugs. But you already have drywall on there where, how is the inspector supposed to come in and, you know, go through that kind of stuff, which is gonna need an inspection?
Yeah.
Just because it brings it up to that code, right? So-
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
To the, Mayor,
Yeah, go ahead, Councilor Kleiber.
originally you told us last meeting that you only put the insulation in so far.
Yes, insulation,
But I see drywall, I see flooring. You said that you had only put the insulation and you hadn't done anything else.
No,
So did
'cause,
you go and put the drywall in after the meeting?
No, we didn't.
The drywall was already done. It wasn't just insulation. You had the drywall done, you had the flooring done. That was all done when you came
I-
last time.
I think we did mention that.
because we were talking about the heating thing. So we were talking about us staying the whole year. We said that it's only insulated, so there's no way we can stay there the whole year, like only 3 seasons.
Okay.
There's no way we can stay on the winter times.
I think even in the reports it said that we had the walls up and the cabinets and the flooring done.
Okay, so you realize that if you have to go through building permits, that they're gonna ask you to take some of your drywall off to
Yeah,
look at
for
your
sure.
insulation now. Like you can't just put up a bunch of drywall and then you have no inspection.
Yeah. We're willing to do that.
You have wiring installed in the walls as well, or how is that working?
Yes, right now we're using extensions to make all those electrical works. But then, like we said last time, Red River Planning told us that we can put electric water on it as long as all coming to our house to going to the trailer. So that's why we got confused that we are told to do the conditional use. When the first time we went there, they said that since you're zoned agriculture, you're allowed to have a trailer, just one, and as long as it is wheeled, there's tires on it, so that you can move it anywhere else on your property.
Yeah, but that's not a trailer like what you have. They're talking about an RV, a recreational vehicle. That's all done ahead of time that you buy off of the lot. You can store an RV on your property.
That's not what we explained to the planning district. We told her it's put trailer on tires, on wheels. That's
I think
that's
there
why
was just miscommunication between you and the planning board, because when you say trailer, the understood definition of a trailer is a recreational vehicle. Nobody's ever come here and said, can I have a 50-foot semi-trailer in my backyard? So they would have assumed that we're talking about as a recreational trailer.
Okay.
All done.
Because we even told the district that some neighbors have those kind of trailer also. So we assume, yeah. I even took a picture of sea cans
On pipeline.
along pipeline here at Grassmere also. They have all sea cans also.
Yeah, and if they're reported, they'll probably be removed, or they have to have a conditional use for it, so it goes on a
Not sure.
report by report basis. We just had one, last meeting you were here, we didn't approve it.
No.
Yeah.
We don't want to see that kind of stuff in our neighborhood.
No, I
But
mean,
I think the difference between the storage containers and what we're trying to do is that we're gonna be around this a lot. We wouldn't want this to be ugly outside
I understand that.
compared to like if it was
Here's what I'm
actually a
concerned about.
storage.
Here's
Yeah.
what I'm concerned about. This looks like a nice trailer. It does look like a party trailer. I'll be honest with you. You're gonna hang out there. It's a party trailer.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's gonna start in April and it's gonna go till October for
Okay.
your neighbors. And you're already in contention with your neighbors. So how's that gonna play out? You're already fighting with them. So now you got a party trailer in there, and
I-
you've been fighting with them.
I
How
don't
do you
think
think they're
we're-
gonna respond to it?
We're not really fighting.
Well, it
we're-
sure looked
we-
like it last meeting.
Okay, excuse me, if you want to
Yeah,
speak,
yeah.
then you have to come forward, so.
Yeah, we had, you guys were, the guys that were in opposition to you. They weren't very
That's-
happy.
well,
We're the-
we've
yeah.
been talking to them like
that's why we don't understand. They don't allow our trailer in our property, but their truck
it's
is parked in our property.
Your neighbor's truck.
My neighbor's truck is in our property.
Yeah.
That's why we don't understand.
We're getting into other issues now.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that I don't understand that
but-
they not.
I'm just gonna, we gotta move this along, because
Yeah.
it seems
Yeah.
like we're going around in circles and
Yeah,
so
we
forth.
are. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna ask that, if you have anything else to add, please add it, sure, keep it brief, and then, because then we'll call up any individuals any new individuals that are opposed to it or against it. I'll talk to the planner or Pam. So are there any other individuals coming up to,
No one signed in, but if people wish to speak to any new information that was provided tonight, they
okay, so if you can wind this up and then we can move on, because,
okay.
You'll get the chance to come back.
yeah.
You'll get the chance to come back and rebuttal.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I guess, are there any other for or against?
No.
No,
But
none?
again, if anyone wanted to speak to new information presented, they could do so now.
Yeah, so is anyone here in the room that wants to?
Yeah.
By all means.
Sorry, I'm late.
No, that's right. So state your name, address.
Yeah, my name is Juan Camilo Livar. My address is 685 Elizabeth Road. No,
You're in
I.
the city of Winnipeg?
Sorry,
You're in the city of Winnipeg?
I'm in the city of Winnipeg. Yes.
Yeah.
Is that a problem or
No.
or no?
No,
Okay.
just asking why you're.
Okay, no, I'm just in support because I know them from friends, and I'm in support of it because I did notice that when you go down West St. Paul, you do see a few trailers everywhere else. So in my mind, you think consistency, right? So when it comes to negating one trailer, you'd have to negate all the trailers in West St. Paul, in my mind. So that's something that should be considered when making your consideration for what's to approve, what's not approve. I notice a lot of trailers just by themselves. These guys, they are planning on making it so it's looks nice. They made a conceptual design drawing on Civil 3D for this to present to you guys of what they want to have. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Move forward.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. My name is Reggie Dakis. My property is 2527 Miller Road. We are the first house, and we took over at the end of December. And we are the longest one that is part agriculture. So the couple went to me and asked me if I could appear into the hearing about the plan of whatever they're putting there. And to tell you the fact, it's not an eyesore to us, and I don't know why we need to do a hearing. Now I understand why we need to do the hearing while you're putting it there, but I cross that road every day because my son actually is what you call studying at St. Paul. So every time I actually take that road, then I could actually hardly see it because it's actually at the back. It's covered also with the garden of the wife. And when they're asking me about if you are in support or what, obviously my opinion there is what is the bylaw, but I don't think it's anything of a matter to us because it's not really a rice or because it's too far.
You're not that close to it, are you?
We are 3-4 houses away from them. We
Quite
are
a
the
ways.
first. We are the first house.
Yeah, on Miller. I know
and
where
in
you
the
are.
road. And then yes, every day I'm actually passing through there, and I'm actually trying to look at it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you're
Mr.
quite a ways
President.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter though.
So you're in support of it?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else? Baines? No? Okay, good. Do we need to call him back again?
Just some questions for the, oh, I saw a hand go up.
Oh,
Did you want to speak?
At the last meeting, yeah.
I wasn't at the last meeting.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, if you wanted to speak to anything raised, any new information raised this evening, you could do
Well, it's all new information for me because I wasn't at the other meeting. Jerry Belenky, 354 Garden View Drive. First of all, I'm against it because normally the sea cans come in for storage, usually additional lawnmowers or things like that. And in the past, we even made storage containers, put siding on, made them, cover them all up so that they're not offensive because usually they stay over the sites of the fences. This thing looks like a granny suite to me, or an additional suite. I mean, from what I could see from far, I mean, it's really done nice. It's like remodeling a house. So I don't think, at least the way I believe it, I don't think the use of the way it's being explained as storage is not storage. I mean, you're not mounting the cupboards. Storage is everything's loose. And so you're building something inside. So I don't think that this should be allowed. We're going to open it up. We're going to have a nightmare here if we start allowing extra suites because then we could use containers for granny suites. So this is where we're going to open up. I don't think it should be allowed. It's done nice, everything, but it's a container. So that's just my view.
okay. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Hearing none?
I just had a question for the planner.
Okay,
With regards to an exhibit that the applicant showed us of a rendering with some a color scheme on the trailer, if the conditional use was approved conditional upon achieving what I saw in a particular exhibit, can council tie that together with the conditional use, that it has to be achieved by a certain period of time?
You could, yes. We would need to just make sure that we all have copies of that. Obviously, your staff can make copies and make visuals so we can attach it to this. So you can make it, we'd have to come up with a condition that, one of the conditions is that it substantially conform to the renderings presented at the meeting, something along those lines. As well with conditions, just so council is clear, one of the standard conditions that we have on all of your applications is that if it's approved, it's subject to conforming to what has been presented. If you recall the last meeting, what was actually presented, even though it doesn't seem to be the intention now, is that there's going to be a kitchen, a washroom, and those sorts of things. So unless you specify that those aren't going to be in there, if you approve it, then our office would be obligated to issue a permit with those in there. So If council wants to deviate from what has been presented or as conditions, absolutely you can do that. So,
Thank you.
narrow the scope.
Yeah, thank you. I understand.
Councilor Shetty?
Just some clarification from the planner. So if we didn't change any of that, there's still other conditions in there that if they were adding the sink and that kind of stuff, that conservation with the gray water situation is still got to decide which way that's going, which means it has to follow a code, does it not? Electrical, all that would still have to,
Oh, yes, you don't need to write in conditions that they have to follow code, that's just implied. They have to obtain permits, you can't obtain the permits and approvals without following building code. Does that answer your question?
Just to Counselor Pactican's question, if we approve a rendering, you're putting the applicant in a position where they have to do something on a picture that they may not want to do. And we don't know the expense of it either. So that's an issue for me. I don't want to tie them to a picture that they may or may not do, and that might be too expensive for them. So it'd be better if they came back and showed us what they're actually going to do and what they can afford to do. Would it not? Otherwise, we have to tie them to something specific.
We can ask the applicant that question.
Right, that's I
We'll
guess
ask the
that's
applicant.
something for the applicant to really consider. Yes, if you're not, one isn't prepared to follow through with what someone's proposed in terms of costs or look into that, it might not ever happen, right?
Yeah.
We have had approvals in the past where council has put conditions on, whether it's adhering to certain things, and they just haven't followed through because of whatever reason, whether it be cost or materials aren't available, or it just becomes unviable. So that would be something that our office would be looking at in terms of the permits and inspections. If you can't adhere to what council has said, then you don't get approvals. So.
We can call the applicant back.
Okay, can the applicant come forward, please?
So let me just start, and I think Councilor Clark will probably ask you a question also. But so that exhibit on the first page that you have there, my thought process is that I'd like to tie that into a potential approval of your application for conditional use to allow the trailer on your property. So is that something that you're willing to, or is that something that is achievable by your family to achieve within a certain period of time?
Yes.
Right? And what materials are you utilizing for that exhibit? Is that paint? Is that siding? Is that steel colored steel, or what is it?
Siding.
Okay.
You don't know, right?
Well, cause if it depends, like, if the paint doesn't look good, then we would go for a siding, right?
The neighbors suggested just to paint it. That's what the neighbor suggested to us.
And then
Which
the-
neighbor? The one that was here
2675 Miller Road.
Carl?
Which one?
No, not Carl. The Baleras.
2625 Miller Road, the one beside us.
26, yeah.
Yeah.
Risa,
2625, and
Did-
then
and
Baleares.
the neighbor that appeared last time, did they give you some suggestions?
yeah, they did.
And what were those?
They said maybe just they like this one. Wait, where is it? They like something more like this with a roof.
And are you prepared to construct that?
Yeah, because I think we do need a roof because of the snow.
So,
Anyway.
so an A-shaped roof of some sort. I don't know what the name is that, but
Sorry?
I don't know the name of the roof,
Oh, yeah.
the construction form, but it's like an A-shaped roof?
Yeah.
Have you
like-
looked into the cost
A
of
truss
that?
roof, okay.
No.
Presumably you have a budget for this project, and this would be, you're thinking it's within your estimated budget?
Yeah. We stopped working on this, so we got time to save up.
Okay.
Actually, some of the materials inside the trailer right now is from Marketplace.
My next
Like,
question.
even these stairs are, I got it for free in Marketplace.
That's good. My next question was reducing the scope. So there was a concern about the toilet I think you brought the concern up that you're no longer doing it. So if we said that this trailer in the conditional use approval would not have a toilet, you would be okay with that?
Yeah, yeah, we already talked about it and said it's fine, we don't need a toilet. Yeah.
And then the sink, what about the sink? Are you saying that we can remove that as well, or?
Yeah.
The neighbor also suggested just to put the same thing with the RVs, holding tanks.
Compost.
Yeah,
Compost trailer.
yeah, that's
Compost
what the
one.
neighbor suggested also. The neighbor that was here last time.
Yeah.
Okay. And, yeah, there's no issue with that, okay. So then, oh, sorry, Mr. Platt.
Oh, I didn't have my hand up, no.
Okay. So then you're okay with us reducing the scope of the sink and reducing the
Yeah.
scope of the toilet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Councilor Clyburn?
I'll make my comments after you read the resolution.
Okay, good, thank you very much. That's good?
You can stand down, yeah.
Can- goodbye. Okay, now we're at 5.12. We're going to close the public hearing. Be it resolved that council do hereby close the public hearing and resume the regular meeting of council. Could I have a mover, please? Councilor Bichetti moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
Second it.
Okay, Councilor Patkan seconds it. Can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Carried. Okay, we're down to 5.1, resolution, conditional use, CU 3425. Did you want to make changes to this?
Yeah,
first
Mr.
before-
Mayor, if
Go
you,
ahead.
what I'm thinking of is reducing the scope. So I'm looking for some wording to reduce the scope of the sink and the toilet, and that the exterior design of the trailer be in line with the exhibit of the applicant. Can you pull out that picture that you, give it to the staff person behind? No, it was the other one. Or which one are you using? Okay, is that the one you're going to go with?
Yeah.
Okay, can you send that to just the lady behind you there? And that'll be Exhibit A. So that the trailer would conform to Exhibit A as submitted by the applicant. I think that was it.
One of the conditions on here, Councillor Pactican, is number 4. Can you have a look at that? Now, I'm not sure, I think there's residential occupancy here.
Well, if we reduce the scope, if we're reducing the scope of the toilet.
Reducing it's
and
not
the
going to
kitchen.
change it, it's a party trailer. That's the bottom line. That's what it's being used for. So there is residential occupancy here.
But that condition would remain, Councillor Clapper. It shall not be used for resident. If there's people living there overnight, then
And how
Day to
would we,
day.
and how would we track that?
it
How would we track that?
would be it would be brought to us presumably by neighbors that have to live in the area.
I'll just say, I had to live beside somebody who decided to turn their garage into a party central, and every weekend I had to see 50 motorcycles down the street and a party going till 2 in the morning. So I'm not going to advocate for this because it's very clear to me by those pictures that this is residential. There's no doubt about it. And have admittedly said this is a place they're going to hang out. So why would we do this? Because it's going to continue throughout the RM. It sets a precedent that we don't want. I would not want to live beside it. I lived beside it for 2 summers. It was not good.
Okay, I guess, does the planner have some wording changes to the resolution, or? I saw your writing, so I'm thinking you have
Yeah,
some.
I do have some suggested wording,
Okay.
some other things to bring up. So you could have, condition number 1 would be conditional use is limited to what has been presented in the application, any further changes, it's the standard ones, and then condition 2, get all your permits. Condition number 3 could be removed, that deals with on-site waste management systems, because you're going to note that you don't want any plumbing. So what I would say instead is that, well, I also suggest that you remove condition number 4, because that section of the bylaw talks about this is only to be storage. You're not supposed to have people using the inside of it, you know. So if you're allowing for the rendering what's being proposed, it's it's going to be for people to be able to be inside. So.
So
it would be
we're
too
actually approving a residential suite then, aren't we?
I wouldn't say a residential suite, no.
But a granny suite, some kind of a suite here.
No, that would have to have plumbing and cooking and all that sort of thing, so.
And we're saying there's no plumbing here?
Well, that's one of the conditions, so the
So
next.
there can't be a sink?
So if you want me to
No
read out
water.
the conditions. Next condition should be substantially conform with the renderings or drawings presented by the applicant at the October 9th council meeting, and we have it over here.
Okay.
And then the next condition after that would be the storage container will not include a sink, toilet, or any plumbing. I think that captures what you were talking.
Okay, yep.
So if you have that, then you no longer need that other condition about the on-site wastewater management, because you don't have any plumbing, you don't have any wastewater. So-
Right. Okay.
Councilor Bichetti?
So to the planner, what would the application be for? What would the application be called? It's not for now, would it be for a three-season sunroom? Would it be for?
No, it's still a storage container. That's what you're allowing. But you're allowing a storage container, in this case, instead of to be just storage, to be used for what the applicant has proposed to use in the interior.
So from what,
You're allowing, let me explain, you're allowing the structure of a storage container, which is a conditional use, and you're putting some conditions on here that bring the scope of how they're using that storage container as to what they've proposed.
so does that mean the scope of the inspections would change? Because now electrical's been added, drywall's been added, insulation's been added.
If people are going to be inside of there, they're going to have to conform to the building code and the associated inspections. It's no longer just a storage container, which is a basic permit and ensure that there's venting into it for the storage of materials, and that's about it. Now it becomes a much bigger scope of work.
And that's what I'm getting at, is the cost of a permit and inspections on a storage container are gonna be significantly less expensive as of one where you're now altering structure, having an area for people to habitate.
Yeah.
So just on Councilor Bichetti's point, is it clear that this application is for the conditional use to allow a storage container on site for occasional gathering space? Do we need to rename it or rephrase it?
I don't think so, because they have talked about that already in their letter of intent, which is
Okay.
all attached to this. That they
Okay.
want the storage container here to be renovated for a private space, as I said, for children and other visitors over the summer. And it goes on to talk about using that, so.
Right, very good.
Got anything else?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I can't support this application at all, because when we first were told that this trailer was coming up, it was supposed to be for storage, then it was not for storage, then now the truth comes out and it's really, it's a party trailer, it's a hangout trailer. The neighbors, some of them are on board, and they'll only be on board until it becomes a nuisance, and then we're gonna get phone calls. I can't approve this because going forward, if everybody does this in West St. Paul, we're going to have a lot of problems. It's a conditional use for a reason. It's not allowed in that neighborhood. It's not allowed. And so you have to come for an exception to the rule. I don't think that you're going to use this for anything but partying, having a party. So I'm not going to approve it because I've had to live beside somebody who did this, and it wasn't fun. And it took 2 years to finally get them to stop. And when you have 50 motorcycles coming down your street at 1 o'clock in the morning volleyball, it's not fun. And so you might have the best of intentions, but it can get away from you. And I don't want to approve another 10 behind you. So I'm not going to set that precedent. I'm not going to support this application.
Okay, we'll read the resolution. I'll have the plan, you'll add in the other two conditions. Like, I'm going to take out 3 and 4, that's what you said?
Yes.
Okay, we'll take out 3 and 4. That's what council agrees with?
Yep.
Right, okay. So whereas the application has applied for conditional use 3425 to permit a storage container at 2645 Miller Road, in the A80 agriculture 80-acre parcel zone. And whereas under the provisions of the Planning Act, a public hearing has been held to hear representation for and/or against the conditional use application. Now therefore it be it resolved that the rural municipality of West St. Paul approves conditional use 3425 under the following condition. This conditional use is limited to what has been presented in this application. Any further changes, replacements, or additions would require a new approval. Applicant owner obtains all required permits from the Red River Planning District, the province of Manitoba, and the municipality if required. Number 3.
The application shall substantially conform to the renderings or drawings presented by the applicant at the October 9th council meeting. And number 4, that the storage container will not include a sink, toilet, or any other plumbing.
The approval for conditional use will expire and cease to have any effect if it is not acted upon within 12 months of the date of the decision. A board, council, or planning commission may extend the deadline on subsection 110-1 for an additional period no longer than 12 months if an application is received before the initial deadline, and for a second period of no more than 12 months if the application is received before the expiry of the first extension. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Council Pascal moves, seconder, Council Bichetti. Comment, go ahead, comments? Cut him first.
So,
Okay.
right.
Yeah, no,
okay,
you go
sorry.
first.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time, wondering which way I'm gonna go here. The application stating that it's storage trailer for private space. I would have rather seen somebody go in and buy a used camper that's set up for private use, for people to be inside it and using it. There's too many uncertainties here on how it's going to be finished and timelines to finish it, and uncertainties that is with the inspections that are going to be needed through the planning board. So for that reason, I will not be supporting this.
Councilor Pascal?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. This is an application that I feel that I can now support, so I will be voting to support this conditional use. And the reason why is because, first of all, these are regular citizens. They're not familiar with the process. We asked them to go away last month to talk to their neighbors. They did the homework. They got their neighbors to sign support. They spoke with their neighbors, and that shows commitment to collaborating with your neighbors, to keeping the peace, and to building the community. So they came here with some pictures. The pictures look pretty good. The interior of the storage trailer does look quite nice. You're also committing to ensuring that the exterior plus the roof is going to be in substantial conformance with the Exhibit A that you submitted. And so that gives me good confidence that this is something that we know exactly what we're getting into. So that's good. So we can't take that away from you. I think those two things right there are very positive. And we've also reduced the scope of the project. We're not having any toilets. There's no plumbing. There's no sink. This is an occasional gathering area. So I feel like this is not, you're not going to have like 10 motorcycles here with partying at 1 to 2 o'clock in the evening. It doesn't sound like that's what you said, or it doesn't sound like you're going to be doing anything like that. Also, it does sound like you're going to be working with the planning, Red River Planning District to ensure that you're in conformance with the electrical and any other permits that you require to make this comply with all of the regulations and codes. So, for those reasons, I feel like I can support this. Like I say, you do have the support of your neighbors. That speaks a lot for me as well. And you work with council, so I think that's very positive, and I hope that you do well. I hope that you get the support of council here. I'm only one vote, but hopefully the rest of my colleagues, perhaps maybe one of them will change their mind. We'll see.
Thank you. Anyone else have any comments? Peter Campbell? No?
I have a couple comments.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, go ahead, Peter Campbell, Councilor Campbell.
Yeah, so I think it's the wording that the applicant is, whether it's intentional or unintentional, like Councilor Kleiber said, it is intended for an RV trailer, right? And I think, I don't want it to be blamed on a miscommunication between the staff, right? The way you're saying a trailer with wheels, most people would probably think it's just a RV trailer, right? So this is I would have liked to have really been a fly on the wall when this was said, saying it was a semi-trailer still on wheels, right? That's what the issue is here. That's the main thing. That's the issue. And, I think, I agree with Councillor Pactican with the changes, right? I agree and I disagree. So I just, I'm going to have, I don't know what my vote is going to be here just yet. I'm going to decide in the next 30 seconds. But I just think we probably could have avoided a lot of our time and a lot of confusion if it had been explained, I guess, or pictures of it at the beginning shown to the planning board.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Campbell, I should say. Thank you very much, Councillor Campbell. So I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay?
Opposed?
Okay,
Nay.
defeated.
Unfortunately, you didn't get it. Sorry.
Okay, we're down to 5.2. Be it resolved that this meeting of council recess for the purpose of reconvening a public hearing pursuant to section 125(2) of the Planning Act. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Councilor Bichetti moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
Seconded.
Councilor Pactan seconds it. Any comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Can I call for the vote? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Councilor Kleiber?
Yep.
Okay.
Aye.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead,
Thank you,
Mr.
Mayor.
Planner.
Similar to the last application, you started looking at this last month, and I'll just do a brief overview of the subdivision application. So this is the final phase of Parkview Point to bring another 175 lots online. Here's the subject area outlined in black. You can see it's the westernmost portion of the neighborhood. Here's the subdivision plan that was submitted as part of the application, showing all the lots, the new roadways. The lots are all in compliance with the RS zone, where the minimum standards are 44 feet in width and 4,400 square feet in size. As well, there are 6 public reserve areas, and those are the dimensions up there in front of you. We did note last time that there was some concern with the orientation of some of the lots, and council tabled this, asking the applicant to come back with more information regarding this item. I believe it was park space, as well as some more information about the proposed Grassmere Bridge connection that Manitoba Highways is proposing, which is this drawing right here. This is the concept rendering from Highways. And the applicant has provided a new rendering of the layout. You can see some of those lots that were on a obscure angle have now been are now perpendicular to some of the roadways, and the park and green space plan is now illustrated on this. So that's all I have for this, Mr. Mayor. Oh, I should also note that if council wanted to approve this, as we said last time, there were 8 conditions which deal with items from development agreements to standard easements, drainage approvals from the province, as well as approvals with the province in terms of transportation and the like. So, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Just want to speak to the audience a bit, is that if there is any chattering going on, we would like you to keep it quiet. It's a distraction to what other people are talking about, so just that you respect to what the person is saying. So thank you very much. Okay, Council, got any questions to the planner?
Yeah, to the planner, have we received any updates from Manitoba Infrastructure at all?
I have not received any updates.
To our planner, Pam, have we received any updates? No? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? No? Okay, can I call the applicant to come forward, please?
Don't see, we had talked about the park.
I think the applicant will speak to that, Councillor Campbell. Okay, go ahead, applicant come forward? So if you all 3 are coming up, yeah, then you all need to say your name, address.
Nathan Mailing, Waterside Development. Address is 236 Osborne.
Okay,
Jackie Wilkie with McGowan Russell Group at 825 Rue Saint-Joseph.
Scott Fielding, working as a consultant with Waterside at 150 Oxford Street in Winnipeg.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, by all means, go ahead.
So thank you, Council, for allowing us to come back from our last meeting. The key points that we took from that meeting were a few items. Again, the biggest item was dealing with those lot lines that were offline or at an angle. We've corrected that. The other thing was park space and playground space. So we've corrected that as well. I have Jackie here. She's going to talk about the park space first, and then Scott is going to talk about an update from MI, and then after that we'll field any questions. So.
Okay.
Okay. So with the plan, I know that we had talked about taking one of the lots at the end of the row of units on the beside the linear park. But when we were looking at that, we felt that it wasn't going to give you a good area of playground. So what we did instead is when we straightened out the lots on the on the north side there and made them so that they were square, we also took out one lot in there so that we would have room to have a playground on the north side of the road. We also adjusted the property line on the south side of the road at that park so that we could get a little bit more green space both on the north side of the lot and on the south side of the lots that come around the bend. So we just expanded that a bit to give a little bit more green space within that area. And then over on the very far west side of the site, we've taken and done a walkway and a green space where you'd be able to kick a ball. It's an acre of land on the very far west edge of the site. We were able to adjust the property lines as well to create a pathway going into that space, and we would want to have a discussion with the administration to see what would be appropriate for within there. Right now, we're just showing some trees and a green space. Excuse me, as I choke on myself. Overall, we've added 1.61 acres of green space with the adjustments to the plan and the lots, and the removal of the one lot.
Okay. Go ahead.
Thanks, Council. And yeah, just first of all, thanks for your time. And just want to say that after we met and had comments from yourselves, we took those to heart and make sure that we're answering some of the concerns that you raised. So we had a chance to meet with administration on September 23rd. And then we also met back with MTI on September 24th, just to kind of nail down kind of the scheduling. There were some comments about the scheduling and making sure sometimes there's commitments, but you want to make sure that these infrastructure, is actually happening. So we really heard what you said of the additional traffic, because you said you want to make sure that's not a concern going forward. And with this, we also talked to them about the construction timelines. Now, obviously, it's up to MTI to do those types of things, but that's for work with the bridge work as well as the road work that's there. The Treasury Board process, just a little bit of background in terms of what happens, and they walked us through that. But essentially, MTI will be giving a presentation to their Treasury Board. Treasury Board kind of meets from now until Christmas, and they'll give a minute back, but they have prioritized this. But the department will know back before Christmas, right, is this approved through Treasury Board. Of course, the ultimate approval is when it comes in the budget, which happens probably in March or so. That's the final confirmation. The Deputy Minister for MIT will be indicated from the Treasury Board before Christmas if the project is approved. But like I say, you want to make sure as a councillor that that goes through. So that's important. And so we want to make sure that aligns with what your concerns were in terms of the traffic flows. And so we did, in our meeting of September 24th with Dustin Bowie, who is a senior representative through MTI, that talked about the timeframes. And so this is his timeframes. And he said that MTI will be making the bridge and road work a priority for the department. The detailed design work, if it is passed, obviously through council here at your discretion, would happen from January until mid-summer of 2026. So the design work would happen from those periods of time. And then construction of the bridge would start from their timelines from the fall of 2026. And then work on the bridge would happen throughout winter. You can do that work throughout winter. That's their intent. Then the road construction would start in the spring of 2027 for construction completion date for 2027, the fall of 2027. So time obviously is important, because you want to make sure that there's not excess traffic that does come on here. So as you can see, once you are able to pull the permits, right, for the housing, just for the development to happen, it generally takes about 6 to 9 months because you initially have to do the underground and then you have to, have the interior roads before you can start any work. So really, even when the permits are pulled, it's about a 6 to 9 month window or period of time before any housing can start, where you're going to see excess traffic that kind of comes in and out of the region. So I think council had talked about potentially having that kind of happening at the same time as the permit. You want to make sure that the road construction is happening so you're not bringing more traffic in. So the timeline that MTI, of course, has aligned would align with the development of what can happen. So very confident that this can happen, the development, and of course that's your decision. And this is MTI's timelines. I think that there is some reassurance and safeguards because at the end of the day, if you're not allowing permits to happen or to be pulled before construction happens, there are some safeguards. So let's say there's a lag period for 2-3 months. It happens earlier, which could happen, or later. It is tied to the construction of the road, so it won't impact. And then it would align. The first house that would be built would align with the new road construction. So we think that hopefully should address some concerns. Again, this is related to MTI. It's up to them. It's not up to us as the developer, but that's the timelines that they had passed through to us. And so we really tried to listen to what the concerns were and make sure when we heard through MTI the timelines, because we want to make sure that there's not extra traffic that's coming in the area. So if there's any questions, please let us know.
Councillor Shaheen?
I got a couple of questions. One, I guess, is to Jackie's part first with the parks. Now, adding a park on the north side of the road and a south side of the road, well, green space, which creates, more crossing of the road and everything in that area. You have to go from one side to the other, different green, depending what's there. I'd want to see something, as you can see, that we've been adding through the rest of Parkview Point is like a flashing pedestrian crossing and a speed bump area as a pedestrian crossing right there. And it's not only going from the park, you're now leading from that linear trail by the pond into that park. Now it's crossing there, going into the other green space. So you're creating a loop, and I'd want to see it, finished off by the developer this time on that kind of stuff. So that's one of my concerns on there. Otherwise, I'm happy with that, but I just want to see more safety in there. The second thing is on Scott's comments. Anywhere in your meetings with MTI, have they said that once that bridge is done and the extension is done by Waterside, I guess the piece up to the bridge, before the whole realignment, because one of the meetings I was in, MTI said the biggest hurdle in this is going to be the realignment of Grassmere. Land purchase, realigning. Would they set that bridge up onto Grassmere, even using it as a temporary onto existing Grassmere, until they've done all the realignment of the other side before it's closed off?
So I can comment on that. That was discussed at that meeting. Obviously, they couldn't confirm in detail because, again, the design is going to be happening once the approval process happens. So a lot of that decision-making and a lot of that working with MI on if they can connect Drake to Grassmere at an earlier stage, a lot of that's going to happen over this period of time between now and while design is happening and during the tender process. So if they can expropriate land that they need to and do all the other stuff within the same timeline, that would be their ultimate goal. But they couldn't really say that they could do the connection at an earlier point. But it has been brought to their attention. It is something that we would continue working with them during their design, during their tender process. And it would be our hopes that that would work as well. But again, as Scott had mentioned, those decisions are MI decisions. We can bring things forward to them. We can work with them as we have been for the last 6 or 8 months on this project. But that would be our goal too, is to ultimately get that connectivity at an earlier date.
Councillor Clyburn?
Yeah, to our planner, if we approve a subdivision, it expires in 2 years? Is that what it is?
If council approves this and the planning board approves it, they have a 2-year window to meet all the conditions.
Okay.
That can be extended for an additional 12 months.
So, Scott, when you're talking about everything MTI is going to do, we have no guarantees on that, right?
Well, you're 100% right, Councillor, but with that being said, there is a signed agreement. I think it was in the documentation that was signed through MTI, the developer, as well as the RM. And second of all, you know, I mean, it is, they said it's a priority, but you're right, you got to make sure it is a priority. So if
So
it's
for
if it's
me-
put in the budget, then
When you just gave us the timeline, you basically are saying that bridge isn't really going to be built till 2027.
Well, what they indicated, and I did check again with Dustin today, just to make sure my details are right. But what they said is I'll just go through it one more time, just for clarity. The detailed design work on the bridge happens from January until mid-summer of 2026, right? Construction of the bridge starts in the fall of 2026, and the work happens over winter. So it would happen over winter. And then road construction would start in the spring of 2027 for completion date in fall of 2027.
We're looking 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Well, they would start construction a year from
Yeah.
now.
That's
So
right.
we're a
It
year
wouldn't
away
be
from that
finished until 2
construction.
years from now.
Uh,
Yeah, fall of 2027. That's what you just said, right?
This is the timelines which they laid out.
Yeah.
Is what she says.
So I think one of the things that we had said in our last meeting was that we didn't want to start any construction until that bridge was built. And that was very important to us,
what he said.
because we don't have any guarantees at this point.
I think that's what I said.
And we need that exit. And with adding all of these homes, that exit then becomes Capitalist out onto number 8, and then U-balling everything.
Do you
And
want
then we said adding 200 homes to that, you know, or how many, you got 175 homes? Something like that?
174. yes.
174. I'm just going to throw a number out there, but times it by 2, because 2 cars usually in each driveway. You'll get 350 additional cars that are now going to funnel out to number 8 and Capitalist and onto, you know, start U-balling. Still a concern for me. I would like some solid stuff from MTI saying, yes, we've got this approved, yes, it's going forward, and then I can make a concrete decision on it. Right now, it's still, if they get it, and you know what happened is they're going to do it, but they might not do it in the timelines that you've laid out for us, right? And that's my concern. And then if we let you go forward and there's no way to get out except number 8 in Capitalist, we've created a problem.
And if I can just, I just want to make sure we're understanding the timeline, because if they would start in the fall of 2026, which is a year from now, they would be done the bridge in spring of 2027.
Yeah.
So that's not 2 years' timeframe.
Then what
that's-
was fall of 2027?
That was the road construction,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
so
All
the
right.
bridge happens because they can construct.
Yeah.
We asked specifically about that. The bridge can happen, the construction can happen over winter, because we thought,
I feel like, Nathan, I almost feel like if we could just get, you know, them to say, we've got the money, let's move forward, I would be okay with it.
Yeah,
But we still
I
don't have
underst-
that.
And I understand that, but there's a long process and a lot of things that we need to do. Exactly, that's why you get 2 years to get through all your conditions. One of the conditions that council brought up, or that Derek brought up, was restricting or not allowing building permits until a certain stage. Our understanding is that that building permit would not even be allowed to be issued until there's a total connectivity. So there is a protection within one of those conditions that what we're asking council to do is approve the subdivision so we can start all the other processes that we need to take, which will take us a year plus to even get to that point. So if we get council's approval today, that just allows us to work on the conditions that we need to, which take time to do. So again, there's that, I think a key component of this for your protection and for ours is working on that one condition about building permits and the timing of that, when that would be allowed.
and if you're able to tie it just similar to the condition, that, you know, provides some protection and safeguard to you, Councillor.
Setting, and then I got Council Campbell too, after you. And then,
There is a condition in here that protects the RM. It actually makes the developer push towards MTI, you know, maybe moving a little faster, that no lots in the subdivision shall be sold until road connection from Capitalist Drive to Grassmere Road is complete and operational. So, which is section D9. So it
D9, I've only got 8C.
well, D and then
One.
1X. Like,
Oh, way down over here.
1D.
Council Fiber? Show it to Council.
Okay, I see it now. Yeah.
And
So that really, you know,
Provide some
is
protection.
protecting us, and it's making the developer work. Well, they're taking the risk, putting their infrastructure in. If it takes 3 years, well, then they got to come back for a, you know, an extension and take a risk that it's gonna, you know, they're gonna get it, but they're putting the infrastructure in the ground, but with nothing to be sold.
And I would like, if I could comment on that, that is a condition that we would like to work on the wording with council, and it be more on a building permit, not versus a lot sale. Because ultimately, the lot sale portion, that is based on market trends. So if market trends change, we may not even be starting our subdivision till after that bridge starts anyway. So, like, to put it on lot sales, I think it would be more accurately based on allowing building permits. And again, having it worded where it's either or, whichever happens earlier, because I think the biggest concern for everybody here is safety and traffic, and it's that connectivity. So if Olson MI does get it done sooner than anything, then that releases that condition and we can start moving forward.
I don't think that would really matter to council, like being sold or permits, as long as there's nobody living on a lot and there's nothing being constructed.
And
on it as
Well,
a-
we're all assuming here at this point that MI is going to put this through this year. What if they come back and say, that's not in our budget, we're doing something else?
That we can't move forward anyway, but.
Yeah, then you can't move forward
But it
anyways.
allows us to at least work on all the other conditions and move forward. Because what happens if the council decides not to approve this subdivision today and waits for that to happen, we lose potentially another year plus of even getting all our stuff done that we need to do in order for the process to start and can get into construction. So,
And we do.
I know you want to sell all the lots before building, but I don't think that's fair for the builders. To sell
I'm
them
not
a
saying we're
lot,
gonna
to say,
sell a
here's a lot, but you can't build on it till we
okay,
tell you.
let me walk you through the process so you understand how we do it. Is once we get approval from council, there's conditions that need to be met. As Derek mentioned, he ran through all those conditions. Major part of that condition is getting our construction drawings, is getting approval from the province, and entering into the development agreement with the municipality. So no construction can even start on underground roads until any of that happens. That process typically takes 9 months to a year to get that stuff done, even if we start today. So if we were to start today with approval, we're actually not even in a process of starting our underground construction or roadways till possibly fall of next year, 2026. So that kind of aligns with the same timeline of MI. We understand we can't actually sell a building or sell a product until all that stuff happens, but we will have more knowledge by January of 2025. We're gonna have even more knowledge of where they're at by 6 months from now. So then we can strategize and then we can decide how we sell lots or when we sell lots. So
The other thing too is that we can just do it as is and amend it later too. So we can do an amendment later. If something changes and you're moving faster and you're getting approval from MTI, then we can turn around and amend this.
I think I think that would probably be amenable to the developer, right? If we can move quicker for it and MTI is able to do their work quicker, then we just wanted ability to kind of, pre-do some of the underground work and some of the infrastructure and that sorts.
Yeah, all we're saying is don't sell any lots until we get that connection. And if that changes, then we can make an amendment. I'm sorry, Mayor, go ahead, because I think.
Yeah, no, Council Campbell. Go ahead, Council Campbell.
Yeah, so I just wanted to comment, Meadowlands, they started and did, they didn't wait for us to approve stuff. They went ahead and did their sewer work and all their underground work on their phase 4 or 5, whatever it is, before they had approval from us. So, you know, because you know it's going to go at some point because it's all been designated land. But right now, I wouldn't say, you know, like Councillor Kleiber, I would want it to read something along the lines of no lots are sold until, you know, this is connected. So I'm just letting you guys know where I am.
Okay, I guess, just wait, I don't know if this RCAO had a comment?
No, I think you're good now.
Oh, good, okay, thank you.
Laney, I think, had a hand up too.
No, Peter Camp, okay. Go ahead.
I mean, I can't speak to another developer and what's been previously approved, but every one of our phases has been approved within the same systematic manner. We've never been able to start on roadways or anything prior to having a complete approved subdivision, DA signed, and everything that's associated in the DA. So I can't speak to a different developer or what's been done in the past on anything. That's not my place to speak on that. I can only speak on what we've done in the first 3 phases, and we're asking to do the same thing on phase 4. We're not asking for anything to start earlier before any approvals in place.
Anyone else have any other comments, questions?
Yeah, I just have a question. Do you have empty lots right now that have not been built on? Because I understand there's quite a few lots that have been approved that have not, nobody's built anything on them, like over 400, like almost 400 lots.
So it's Parade of Homes right now, and I recently did a tour of Parade of Homes and spoke to all our builders and their sales agents. They are actually at a point where they are down to 1 or 2 lots. So their inventory is very minimal right now. So there's a big demand.
Yeah.
So again, I can't predict the future.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't say what's going to happen in 4 months from now with sales. But right now, as we stand today, we are very low limit of lots available. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Councillor RCAO.
Yeah, I'll just add a little bit of comment to Councillor Kleiber's comments there. So the lots may have sold, but are, accordingly from our perspective, administration's perspective, as of mid-September, we were showing approximately 40% left that have not pulled building permits. And really what you're trying to get to here is that there's a large supply of lots that have not been built on yet, which essentially means that they have not had families moved into those lots yet, which has not impacted your traffic concerns that you have. So although the lots may have sold, by our count of what was kind of allocated for Parkview Point up until this date, which is approximately up to or close to 1,300 potential units, about 770 have pulled building permits. And even in that 770 that have pulled building permits, not all of those are actually completed either. So the families that were moving into those houses still haven't, that positive impact to the traffic and to the community and to the congestion still has not been fully realized yet. So, you could take a drive through Parkview and see how many houses you feel that might be under various states of construction.
So we could have a real impact very quickly.
And this is without the consideration of the 174 that's before you today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, with that being said, 100%, you want to make sure, but, you do have professional engineers, right, through traffic and through MTI that have evaluated it, right, and put together, I think, probably a pretty strong plan for the area to address and mitigate some of the traffic. So the expertise from the province has come forward and said, that there is, it will address traffic issues as you're going forward, so.
Go ahead, Councillor.
Yes, but that traffic study that was done,
I believe that traffic study is up to date and not with this number of houses.
What I'm saying is that, the traffic work, right? The engineering that's going on with MTI, though, I think that they've addressed some of the traffic issues. You got some of the, best minds at MTI that have put it forward, so.
I understand that, but with the added traffic, MTI has pretty well thrown that traffic study out the window by closing off the southbound turn lane from Capless to McPhillips. So we have to look at the safety of the existing residents and the ones that are already approved prior to, adding more to the mix. I don't feel that this subdivision would add more to the mix at the point of, well, you can't sell anything, sell permits, however it ends up being worded. But there is lots still out there. There's a whole other phase, I believe, that isn't even started, so.
Anyone else? Okay, so I guess just let's let you know is that I like it where there's no lots sold. And that, because, you know, I understand what you're saying. The thing is you can sell the lots and it gets down to the builders. The builders are gonna probably wind up not understanding all of it, and then they'll be coming to us and saying that, you know what, how come you don't allow us to build? And then we have to explain it to them. So I sooner just keep it to one person with dealing with all the issues with the not lots being sold, instead of having 5 or 6 or 7 builders coming to a municipality and asking us, why aren't you allowing us to build? I mean, I think it makes it a lot more cleaner if there is just no lot sold, because then the builders know they can't build anything on the lot until they buy it, and when you're ready to sell it, it must be ready to go. So I don't oppose. I like this idea. It gets you guys moving ahead, putting in all the groundwork. As far as MTI is, as you know, I've been in this position now for 3 years, and I know that MTI has probably twice moved the construction of number 9 over. They had planned for 2025, and now they have planned for 2026. And I know that when I first started, I thought it was going to be in 2024 also. I'm not sure, but I do remember. So MTI does say they're going to build something, and then the year before when they start, they move it over the next year. So I am not confident with MTI saying that this is their timelines. They say this is what their timelines are, but as you said, it's a priority. It's not a definite. So go ahead.
And we're well aware of that. And when we get to a point of working on drawings and actually deciding when this project starts, as a developer, we would be very careful to put millions of dollars in the ground if this bridge project looks like it's not happening. So what this allows us to do with your approval today is get all the legwork done and get the engineering done, get our approvals from the province done. And then when we get to that point in 8 months from now, then we make the decision, hey, is this bridge happening? Because I don't know about you, but I'm not willing to spend $10 to $8 million in the ground if I can't sell a lot. So that's why we're just asking for approval so we can get going on the subdivision, get all our conditions met, and then readjust or make a decision, educated, smart decision at that time. And that's all we're asking for today.
Okay. Anyone else? I guess the other question I heard is traffic studies. I don't know, do you guys, are you looking to have another traffic study done, or was there a concern on traffic studies or not? Is that right? No? Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we still taking any other for and against?
Yes. Okay, anyone for?
No one else, everyone that was registered at the last meeting had an opportunity to speak.
Okay,
So if anyone wants to speak again, just on the additional information that was provided tonight, they would have an opportunity to do so.
okay. So is there anyone here that wants to speak? Okay. Anyone else? Okay.
I wasn't at the last meeting, so.
Yep.
I'm against this one. I think we're gonna have 400 cars in there at least. We're gonna have a lot of traffic coming up here, up Grassmere to this set of lights. There's lots of traffic now. I don't know, last week or the week before, lights stopped at Pipeline. A mile away, the guy's back drove into a car right in front of a mile away when the lights, that's how much traffic there is. We had an election, the people didn't want all these homes. So, I don't know. And to talk about MIT, there's gonna be an election next year, everything's gonna change again. But this, until they're doing it, there's nothing, set. So, and they're talking about redoing the perimeter, and I'm sure the perimeter is gonna be more of a,
Okay, we're just keeping it to the development here, please.
well, the reason I'm saying about the perimeter is because they've been having lots of meetings, they're gonna spend that money there because of the accidents on that perimeter every day, they're not gonna spend having the money on. I don't like the congestion here. And then they have this sharp turn when you cross the bridge. Got to make that fast turn. Like, I don't know, what's the advantage for us? We don't need the empty lots. I know they want it, they're in business for that, but what do we need? Do we need more lots? Let me think about it. What's the rush? We have a lot of lots, and so I just don't understand why I understand everybody has the right to apply, but it's supposed to be a rural municipality, and look at this is like, I don't know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So you just got to state your name and address, please.
Good afternoon. Rui Botello, 736 Blackdale. I was actually here for another file, and I'm not opposed. This development's in the ground already. It's not changing. But my concern would be on traffic and being a user of Grassmere and number 8. And traffic studies are not, people are still people. And what I see using that intersection every day as early as 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 7 p.m., somebody's going to die there, and it's not going to take long. The U-turns being allowed there, they put a no right turn on red now, so it backs up traffic up Grassmere. That's a pain in itself, so people take the restaurant. They just put new curbs where they remove the section, and people are driving over the boulevard. There's fresh tire tracks there. If you go that way, you'll see them. They were there the next morning. There's no turn lane on the northbound lane, so people are into the shoulder as they're making the turn onto Capitalist today. So the development itself, it is, but something needs to be done. I'll take this opportunity. I don't typically attend council meetings. That intersection at number 8 and Grassmere is going to cost somebody's life, and it's not going to take long. If I throw a recommendation out to council, if that's allowed, I don't know, I don't attend these, I would shut down Parkview Point at Capitalist, and I point everybody to Main Street where they put the traffic infrastructure to take it. They've got 2 turn lanes off the northbound lanes. They've closed the gravel road off Capitalist that I would redirect traffic to Main Street until Manitoba Transport puts in the proper infrastructure to pick it up on the west end of this development. Because rest assured, being a heavy user to that intersection, I've got young kids that are driving now. My 16-year-old, 17-year-old just got his license. That intersection is, and that's going to be a problem. So development-wise, I have no concerns. This is in the ground already. But from a traffic perspective, you cannot continue to, and if we're only at 60% capacity in the development with 40% of the lots not occupied yet, and you go, and I go down Parkview, we got friends that live there. It's a beautiful neighborhood. The infrastructure is going in for safety, pedestrian crosswalks and speed bumps, but there's already a lot of people there. There's already a lot of vehicles, and that, like I said, you need to look at shutting that westbound exit and pointing everybody to Main Street if we want to prevent a fatality, because it's not going to be long. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, the problem is we have to have 2 exits out of the development. So that's the problem. That's why that Capitalist one was left open, but MTI didn't tell us they were closing to go across the street, which has also been a dangerous thing, right? And I live on Grassmere, so I know exactly what you're talking about. And this is what I said last meeting. That is a very dangerous intersection, both coming onto Grassmere and going off of Grassmere now.
Any direction. Yeah.
It's scary. And if I approve this and 200 more cars or 400 cars potentially could go onto there without something going across, I don't know. I couldn't live with myself on that one.
Yeah, and it's a transportation issue now. It sounds like this late into the development. It's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
that was not well thought of at the front end of this development. Right? It's just the infrastructure was never established. If you look at the Main Street side, it was well established. Traffic lights. You had River Trail on the other side, but this exit out Capitalist, and I think either way, whether you're cutting through that they've now closed or you turn at the light, people are still people, and drivers are making. And it's not a developer problem or a council. Drivers' behaviors are going to cause somebody to lose their life.
Yeah, because people are very
red lights-
frustrated at that light because you got to
it's
sit
happening.
and wait
People are
and wait
U-turning on
and
reds.
wait and
You
wait
put an RCMP there and they'll
before you
make
can
their
turn
quota
right.
for the next 90 days. Like
Yeah.
people, so it's not a developer, it's not, but
Yeah.
infrastructure-wise, it's somebody
This is
is,
not well thought out.
we're going to have
I
a
agree.
significant issue there at some point. So I just wanted to get that on record.
Yeah, I agree.
Took that opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we need the applicant to come forward?
You have to come back up again. Nathan.
Yeah, no, there was only two. Okay, so I guess if you can just address the concerns, I probably have addressed them already, but just recap.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if there was an actual question directed at us, so I'm not sure if I can say anything more. I mean, as a developer, yes, we're concerned about traffic too, but we're also talking about our development. A lot of these traffic problems are external traffic problems as well. They're not just strictly development traffic issues. And yeah, it is a problem. And that's why we've been working behind the scenes for 6 to 8 months with MI to come up with a solution and to try to make it better. And just to talk about MI just briefly, we've already engaged with them on design, even though there's not funding in place. That's unheard of. Like they have committed, they've signed letters, they've entered into an agreement with us and the RM. I know projects get delayed, I understand that, but this is the highest level I've ever seen from MI give commitment to a situation, because they are well aware of the issues. They are concerned about the safety issues as well, for everybody in the whole RM. So it is not something that when we meet with them, and I'm sure if you guys would like to have a meeting with them, they would be open to explain it to you. But again, I'll leave that. That's a lot of these questions are MI questions that I'm not really here to answer to, because it's really their project and their stuff. But,
Mayor, if I
Okay,
may?
no, Council Campbell first. Council
Okay,
Campbell,
Council-
go ahead.
Yeah, so my comment to the developer is, this bridge was discussed with you guys years ago, and you guys knew about it, but you guys were hoping to not have to pay for it, and you guys are getting away from having to pay for it, but this was supposed to be on your dime and done years ago. So, you know what, I don't really have a whole lot of sympathy here for it, for us wanting to delay it, because, our main objective here is to think about the residents and the safety of the residents. And, so I think that's our main objective.
Councillor Kleiber?
Yeah, for me, it's about timing, and it's just, I don't think this is the time. And it's a nice development and so forth, but if we still have 400 homes coming on stream and we haven't even put buildings up, can you imagine 400 homes times 2? And we're going to put them all, a whole bunch of them are going to go out to number 8. I mean, I drive number 8 every day and turn left onto Grassmere, and I turn right onto Grassmere. And this gentleman that just spoke, he's absolutely right, and I expressed that last meeting. It's dangerous, and it's scary. And I don't know if MTI really is aware of how dangerous it is. They say they are, but they're the ones that close Capitolus on us. They're the one that closed the turning lane, which I know there was some accidents there too, but it was better than what we've got now. So I would challenge them to come live in this area and try and negotiate that, because it's not very, very good at all. So no, I think the timing's off here. That's my sense on it.
Councillor Shetty?
I'm going to sound a little bit different than that, because right now we already have, I believe the CAO said 40% of the lots without building permits. Those are already approved. Right now, this other subdivision with 174, this part of the subdivision would not add anything to that. All it's going to be doing now is, instead of just council at MTI's, door knocking and knocking and knocking to move them forward and to fix a problem that they created, now it's council, a developer, and a developer at them. And when the developer has money at stake here in the ground, I think that's a stronger way to start pushing with MTI to get this done, because we've brought this up when there was no other development. They would barely even speak to us. I was at half of the meetings with MTI, and there's been no commitment, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, until you said that we're going to do this development, is when they said we're going to move this forward ahead of the, I believe it was the McPhillips reconstruction or the perimeter reconstruction, because it was shown on one of those plans. And they said they were going to jump this ahead of the queue because that was so far out of the way. So I think this is the time to fix this problem, because it's not just us banging on their doors. And with, you know, another election here coming up next year, things may change. People are not aware on where we stopped, where we started with pushing on this. Right now, it's keeping the developer at their door, constantly knocking, and we're not looking like the pains. So I think it is time right now. And this would not add anything, because this is all we're speaking of. Everything else is already approved in that subdivision. So they could turn around, stop this subdivision, stop pushing the bridge, say, no, we're not doing the part of the road, and the rest of that reconstruction, the subdivisions can still go on, so. Thanks.
Okay, so thank you very much for your.
Thank you.
Thank you for everyone's time tonight.
So now we're at 5.2.2, we're close the public hearing.
Mr. Mayor, sorry, just one question,
Go
one
ahead.
more piece of information, just a couple pieces for clarification.
Okay.
So although, as we've said, you know, MTI is early in this process, they have discussed intersection improvements to accommodate turning lanes on and off of Grassmere. So that will be part of that project or that scope when that reconnection or that moving of that connection. Although we haven't seen the design, there was discussions about potentially adding some turning lanes and things like that to improve that intersection. So to speak to the safety of that intersection. And two, lastly, administration is, you know, for what it's worth, is in support of the application with the conditions as we've suggested here before council to allow them to continue on with the engineering and the planning and, you know, even up to the infrastructure, but putting a halt on the construction of houses or permits in that property until the safety concerns relating to the traffic, meaning the bridge and the reconnection, has been established. We felt that was enough sufficient protection to allow the developer to still make progress on their development, but to balance the safety or whatever control we do have left of whatever as it relates to this 174 properties, to not let that grow until those safety measures are in place. So.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Mr. Planner.
Just one, as a reminder, thanks. If you include that condition within your development agreement that limits, I don't care how you do it, whether it's a sale or construction, that does allow the developer or the applicant to move forward with those conditions of approval, get them all taken care of. And once they are all taken care of, then our office can issue certificates to have the new subdivision registered at Land Titles. However, remember, also when the registration of the titles takes place, that's also when the registration of the development agreement takes place. So the safeguard for council is that if you have that condition in there, our office will not be allowed to issue any permits until you give us the thumbs up on that. But everything's registered, right? So the developer can still start on the underground work and those sorts of things and put pressure on Manitoba Transportation. On another note, I have a question for council before we close the public hearing. The rendering that the applicant has provided has addressed some of the issues and some of the park space. My question to council is, do you want this drawing? Because this is not what's actually on the table. This is what's on the table tonight. This is the application. So there's two ways for an application to be or for changes to be considered. One is you make the applicant reapply. That's lengthy and expensive. Or we can add another condition of approval that essentially says, let's take this and adjust it to look like that. And we have to be very specific in the wording of that. So before we close the public hearing, I'd like to be able to confirm with the applicant just on some area calculations, because we have a new park space, it looks like, on the northwestern edge. We have the adjustments of block, I believe it's block 5, where you have a new park space where they've taken some lots out for park space. And it also looks like just at the roundabout entrance, there's been some tweaking of some of those lots too. So what I'd want to do is just confirm with the applicant before we close everything and we're not allowed to have any more discussions with them, that I have my arithmetic and the references to the specific lots correct. So for example, we would say, adjust lots, these of that block to allow for this much of park space that sort of thing. That allows them to keep moving forward without having to make a new application and go through all this again. If it's okay with council, first, I guess I'd like a response of, is that what you want? And if so, could we take a 5-minute recess so I can just confirm those? Or
Yep.
we liberal to 10?
Yeah, actually, that's what I was going to ask for, Mayor, is that we tie it to that conceptual drawing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how long will it take you to do? 5 minutes?
I have something already written down. I just want to make sure that we can confirm with the arithmetic here.
Okay, it's 10 minutes. They want 10 minutes.
Thank you.
We got 10 minutes, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
We're taking a 10-minute break?
Okay, we're ready to start, so I guess we're going to read the resolution. You have some, yes, close the public hearing first.
So maybe I'll just speak just for a brief moment, Mr. Mayor, if you will indulge me, and thank you for the break. So in front of you is a drawing that is the same layout that's on the screen, just with all the actual dimensions. So you know what we're talking about. So what we would propose is that there is already a condition number 6 that's listed in the list of conditions, but we would revise that one to say that the applicant owner revised the lot layout as follows, and there's 3 parts to this. So one is to adjust block 5 to ensure that the side lot lines are perpendicular to the roadway. That was those little kind of jog out things. And dedicate a 0.49 acre area for park space at the southern portion of block 5. So that's the bigger park that you see. I guess on the north side of the road that's coming in. So the second part is adjust lots 1, 2, 3, and 4 of block 1 to dedicate a 0.773 acre area for park space at the southeast entrance to the subdivision. So just where the roundabout is, that's the area we're talking about there. Okay. And then the third part is adjusting lots 30 to 39 of block 1 to dedicate a 1 acre area for park space along the western boundary of the subdivision. So that's the northwest or the top left corner of the drawing that you can see green there. So that wording is going to capture what has to physically take place to change the original drawing to that. Sound good?
Yep, so
So now you can close. Yeah.
So number 6 you're going to read then?
We can read that out. So.
Okay, good. So then, 5.2.2, close public hearing for S23-3019. Be resolved that council do hereby close the public hearing and resume regular meeting of council. Could I have a mover, please?
I'll move, Mr. Mayor.
Council Bichetti moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
Second.
Council Patkan seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Okay. So now we're down to 5.2.3, resolution subdivision S23-3019. Be it resolved that the Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul under Section 125(1) of the Planning Act approves subdivision application S23-3019 for an unaddressed parcel located north of Parkview Point Drive, roundabout, and south of Grassmere Creek, identified as Roll 37100. The 38 plus and minus property is to be divided into 175 RS service residential lots, as well as new roads and public reserves. Approval is subject to the following conditions. Go ahead.
If I may just stop. If I can just clarify with the planner, is it not 174? That was one of the changes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, 174?
yes.
Okay,
sorry.
thank you. Property be subdivided into 174 RS service residential lots, as well as new roads and public reserves lands. Approval is subject to the following conditions. Applicant owner submits confirmation in writing from the Chief Administrative Officer of the municipality that A, taxes on the land be subdivided for the current year, plus any arrears have been paid or arrangements satisfactory to council have been made. B, payment of any applicable development levies have been paid. C, drainage/lot grading plans to be presented by a qualified engineer to the satisfaction of the municipality and to ensure that the proposed properties do not drain into or impede drainage from neighboring properties. D, and a development agreement has been entered into to address the following but not limited to: 1, development fees; 2, connection to municipal services; 3, infrastructure standards and phasing; 4, landscape plans; 5, dedication of public reserve lands to the municipality without compensation fees and in lieu of; 6, traffic signage at cost of developer; 7, vehicle and pedestrian access to Grassmere Road; 8, vehicle access to 159 Kaplis Drive; 9, no lots in the subdivision shall be sold until road connections from Kaplis Drive to Grassmere Road is completed and operational. 2, application owner submits written confirmation from Manitoba Hydro and Central Gas Manitoba that an easement agreement has been entered into with the Manitoba Hydro and Central Gas Manitoba with respect to existing and/or future facilities associated with the subdivision, and a plan of easement as required by the Real Property Act has been provided. 3, applicant owner submits written confirmation from Bell MTS that easement arrangements have been entered into with Bell MTS with respect to existing and/or future facilities associated with the subdivision, and the plan of easements as required by the Real Properties Act has been approved. 4, applicant owner submits confirmation from the Drainage and Water Rights Licensing Branch of Manitoba Environment and Climate that the applicant has obtained a license to construct water control works for this subdivision. 5, applicant owner submits confirmation from Environment Compliance and Enforcement Branch of Manitoba and Climate Change that the applicant has, 1, confirmed there is capacity for municipal sewer service; 2, amend the current Environmental Act license related to wastewater collection systems; 3, obtain a certificate of approval for wastewater collection act expansion; 6, I'll pass it on to our planner.
Applicant owner revised lot layout as follows: adjust blocks 5 to ensure site lot lines are perpendicular to the roadway and dedicate a 0.49 acre area for park space at the southerly portion of block 5. Adjust lots 1, 2, 3, 4 of block 1 to dedicate a 0.773 acre area of park space at the southeastern western entrance of the subdivision. C, adjust lots 30 to 39 of block 1 to dedicate a 1 acre area for park space along the western boundary of the subdivision.
7, applicant owner submits confirmation from the City of Winnipeg that a copy of any transportation impact study has been provided to the City of Winnipeg if required. 8, applicant owner submit confirmation from Manitoba Transportation and Infrastructure that the following has been completed. A developer provides written confirmation that sufficient information has been provided to our regional technical service engineer, Mandip Senbin. B, developer provides written confirmation from our department that we have received and approved the traffic impact study for this development. The traffic impact study will have to be prepared by a qualified transportation engineer. It will identify the amount and type of traffic that will be generated by the development and its potential impact on the adjacent road network. The study will identify the type of highway improvements that will be required for safely accommodate the traffic generated by this development and development in this area. The cost of the traffic impact study is the responsibility of the developer and should be undertaken prior to construction. C, a contribution agreement is to be entered into between the RM of West St. Paul and the developer with Manitoba Transportation and Infrastructure for the identified improvements of the traffic infra study and the condition identified in the aforementioned agreement in principle. Contribution agreements shall include terms outlining the responsibility of the construction cost and subject ownership and maintenance responsibility for all improvements, including the extension of Kaplis Drive to Grassmere Road, full closure of Kaplis Drive access to PTH 8, the Kaplis Drive Bridge crossing over Grassmere Drain, the realignment of Grassmere Road, the realignment of PTH 8 East Service Road and PTH 8 and Grassmere Road intersection improvements, along with any detailed costs proportioning any or other clauses deemed necessary. Could I have a mover, please? Councilor Bichetti moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
Seconded, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Patcan seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, carried. 5.3, be it resolved that this meeting of council opening, 5.3, open public hearing, variance order VO 99/25. Be it resolved that this meeting of council recess for the purpose of holding a public hearing pursuant to section 96A of the Planning Act. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Patcan moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
Second.
Councilor Kleiber seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote?
Hold on, I just got one comment there.
Okay, go ahead.
Did I hear?
Say again?
No.
No, okay, no, that's good. Carry on, sorry.
Okay, so we're on 5.3. Okay, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none?
I second it.
Okay, 5.31, I'll let our planner speak.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is variance number 99 of 2025. It's for the property located at 2 Willow Crescent, and it's for a reduced corner side yard in the RS Service Residential Zone. The applicant's proposing to go from 5 down to 3.45 feet. Here's the subject property. Once again, sorry, a very old air photo. But here's the building location certificate drawing that that was provided. So this was identified through a zoning memorandum to identify that the lot is in compliance. And it's one of these situations where the cantilever is allowed to project so long as it's no longer than 10 feet along the wall. This is 10.2 feet along the wall. So that exception doesn't apply anymore, and you need to go for the full variance. So that's why we're here. Had the cantilever been a 0.2 feet, a little bit smidge shorter, then it wouldn't be coming to you. It would have fallen under one of those projection exceptions. Should council wish to approve this, there's just the two standard conditions that it's limited to what's been proposed, and if there's any changes, it has to come back to council. That's it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Councilor Bichetti, you have questions?
You're saying it's just the that 0.2 on the cantilever? It's not the, I thought it was at the garage there. Sorry, I'm looking at.
No, it's the length.
It's at the back of the property where we got the red arrow. That's the portion that is not in
Oh, back
conformance.
The cantilever on the left.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as I
yes,
said,
now
if
I
the
see.
cantilever was only 10 feet along the wall, then it's an allowable projection to be in that yard. Because it's over 10 feet along the in width, it's not allowed to be there. So now we have to take the measurement from the cantilever wall. So that's where we get the 3.45.
And can I ask, is this house complete? Like
Yep.
complete?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions to the planner? Okay, who is the applicant? Where is the applicant? You're the applicant? Okay, by all means. State your name, address, please.
Ben Oliviero, 122 Buxton Road in Winnipeg.
Go ahead.
So to echo the planner, the projection into the side yard is not the issue. I think this cantilever is 1 foot 6 inches. It's that we exceeded the length of the cantilever. We have been trying to operate within all of the requirements set out. On our plans, we dictate our cantilever dimensions as 1 foot 6 and 10 foot. And it was built as per plan, so the plans that were reviewed by the RPD and a permit issued. Just as an industry standard, our plans dictate framing dimensions. So with the finished stucco on, when they're taking their measurement finished stucco to finished stucco, we come to 10 feet, 0.2. Since we've had this variance pop up, we've actually adjusted our base model for these plans, shrunk them down to 9 foot 9 inches to account for finishing materials.
Any questions to that? Go ahead, Councilor Kleiber.
Now, we met with all of you builders not too long ago, and we talked about all of this, and we said, don't do this, because it puts us in a tough position. How can we ask you to take the house down now, or take the cantilever down? I mean, now at this point, you're just coming for forgiveness, right? Pretty much.
I mean,
I mean,
I
what would
don't-
you propose if we said no? What would you do?
It's a great question. I mean, it would certainly be invasive. This sale and this plan would have been approved, quite a long time ago at this point. I would imagine prior to that last meeting. Again, this house has now been occupied. I don't know when the possession date was, but earlier in 2025. So this plan would have gone through application, plan exam.
Does it have a
well in
final on
advance
it?
of that.
Does it have a final inspection? It can't, right? Because you have the variance now.
Correct. So, I mean, we'll have in the RPD areas, we'll do a final inspection prior to possession, and typically it'll be seasonal items, it'll be house numbers, it'll be downspouts, exterior finishes that remain open.
Yeah. I mean, when you submit a plan, you say that cantilever is going to be 10 feet. Our RPD is not going to assume anything other than what you've told them. Now, if it suddenly becomes in at 10.2, they're not figuring on the stucco being the extra 0.2. That's your job. Your job is to make it that 9 point whatever and add the stucco in and configure that. You didn't do that. Is this normal? I mean, I've seen a couple of things coming from Ventura. I think we've had 4 or 5 variances. It's constantly coming back that Ventura doesn't follow what you're supposed to follow. And it's always cantilevers or overhangs in the front of the house.
So, I mean, we do a high volume of very similar base plans. So this is one of our base plans. We do a lot of these with modifications, but typically you'll want to have the cantilevers as large as possible, but still fitting into the requirements set out. Clearly trying to get the maximum space that we can, having them framed to 10 feet. But again, we have made that adjustment and shrunk our framing dimensions to account for those extra inches to make sure that our finished products, stucco to stucco.
Okay, so when did you make that adjustment?
As soon as we got our BLC back on the first of these plans that we did and noticed that our finished dimensions exceeded that 10 feet.
So when was that?
I don't know the exact month.
Was it like last month, this month, 2 months ago, 3 months ago?
I would think within the last couple of months.
Okay, so everything in the last couple of months going forward is not going to have this problem, right?
Correct.
Okay. Thank
Go
you.
ahead, Councilor Machete.
Councilor Machete, and I would ask the mayor too, did we were talking about these cantilevers, we had a bylaw coming up for that, did we not?
Yes, we have to clarify it now. We have to make a date with our planner.
Yeah, and finish that up.
Go ahead, Councilor Machete.
Okay, I'm just looking at this. So that cantilever is on the roadside, correct? It's not the one to the neighbor.
Correct.
Any other questions? None? Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Is anyone for or against?
No one else registered in support or opposition. For information is Norma Alberg.
Okay.
Norma Alberg, 312 Evelyn. So hearing the conversation that was just had, my question would be, if the length of the cantilever was no more than 10 feet, is the projection of that cantilever, would that be allowed then into that side yard? So this is really just because the cantilever was overbuilt. And I would agree with all of your comments. Thank you.
Anyone else?
And we also have Jerry Belinkie for information.
Jerry Belinkie, 354 Garden View Drive. This is, I don't know how many have we had of these cantilevers, and they don't get the message. They just do what they want, and they come in here and they pay for the variance, and they just sell it for whatever they want. They don't have the respect to the council or to the municipality. They just kept doing it. It's the same company. I mean, they come to the meetings, and we forgive them because the house is built. So when does it stop? They don't have the respect of the municipality. I mean, the rule is there, but they just go and do it. And they come in, pay their money, and they say, well, the house is built, so you have to forgive it. It's not fair to the people who bought it. They're builders. They do this. That's their profession. So it's not a mistake, it's on purpose. That's what I have to say. I don't know, they should be made to correct it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Nope. Okay. We get to there was no questions asked, so I guess we'll just move on then. So we'll go ahead and we'll close the public hearing. Be it resolved that council do hereby close the public hearing and resume the regular meeting of council. Could I have a mover, please? Councilor Bichetti moves. Councilor, seconder, please.
I'll second.
Councilor Beckham seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Okay, down to Resolution 5.3.3, Resolutions Variance Order VO 99-25. Whereas an application for variance 9925 was received for the property located at 2 Willis Crescent to reduce the corner side yard setback for a principal building in the RS Service Residential Zone from a required 5 feet minimum to 3.45 feet minimum, and whereas under the provisions of the Planning Act, a public hearing has been held to hear representation for both for and against the application, where therefore be it hereby resolved that after careful consideration, Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul hereby approves variance 99/25 with the following conditions. This variance is limited to what has been presented in this application. Any further changes, replacement, or additions would require a new variance approval. Applicant owner obtain all required permits from the Red River Planning District and the municipality if required. A variance order will expire and cease to have any effect if it is not acted upon within 12 months of the date of the decision. A board, council, or planning commission may extend the deadline under Section 1 for an additional period not longer than 12 months if an application is received before the initial deadline. Could I have a mover, please? Councilor Bichetti moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
I'll second it.
Councilor Kleiber seconds it. Can I have any comments, questions?
Yeah, I have a comment.
Go ahead, Councilor
Yeah,
Kleiber.
I'm not very happy about the situation. It happens, but the fact of the matter is the Ventura needs to adjust for this going forward. I'm not going to be as forgiving on the next one. We've had other issues with Ventura, and you guys have to make the adjustments, and we're coming out with a new bylaw on cantilevers. So this is a real source of friction for us. Fortunately for you, that cantilever is on the street, so it's not going to affect anybody. But had it affected anybody, I don't know what we would do. I don't know if you have to shave off what you had there, but it's just not doable at this point. So I'm going to have to support this at this time.
Any other comments, questions? Can I call for the vote? Go ahead, Councilor Campbell.
At the meeting where the developers and the builders were upset that we were going to bring in a cantilever bylaw, right? That it wasn't needed, it was unfair, and all those types of things. And then we're still dealing with these. So, as much as I don't want to, approve this, I will with objection type of thing, because we shouldn't have to keep on having these come back.
Any other comments, questions? Can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I oppose. It's carried.
Yep, you're good to go.
Okay, so we're into 5.2, public hearing, conditional use, CU 40/25. Yep,
I'm gonna excuse myself on this one as for perceived conflict in my daytime job. I'm doing the same thing this person's asking for, so I don't want any perceived of a conflict in this, so I'm gonna leave the room on this one.
okay, thank you very much. Be it resolved that this council meeting recessed for the purpose of holding a public hearing pursuant to Section 105A of the Planning Act. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Patcan moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
I'll second.
Councilor Kleiber seconds it. Any comments, questions? Can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Down to 4.4.1, public hearing resolution, CU 40/25. I'll let our planner speak.
Thank you, Mayor. As you noted, this is conditional use number 40 of 2025. It's for a property located at 748 Blackdale Road. What the applicant is asking for is a conditional use approval for a home occupation, specifically for car sales on the property. Here's the subject property outlined in black. You can see with the existing home buildings and just a bit of a survey plan that the applicant has provided. So the applicant is proposing to have car sales, get a, I believe it's a dealer's permit license on the property. It would involve selling 1 to 2 vehicles per month through online means. There's no vehicle storage or repairs proposed to be done on the property, and sales are going to be done by an appointment only. Should council wish to approve this, there are 3 conditions. The 2 standard conditions, that it's limited to what's approved and to obtain all required permits if required from our office and your office. There's a 3rd condition that actually came from Highways. They had some concern about this. This condition is that the applicant owner is to submit preliminary traffic projections to determine if a more detailed traffic impact study is required, with a copy of the study to go to MI. And they also note that if required, the studies to be prepared by a qualified engineer to determine what impacts the traffic generated by this development would have. I'm not sure if they completely understand the proposal, but it doesn't seem like there'd be any traffic generated. So that's a condition that's in there. Of course, it's up to council to decide on what conditions you want to attach to this. That is all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, any questions to the planner? Hearing none, okay. I'll ask the applicant to come forward. Who's the applicant? The applicant here? No? Okay. Then we'll carry on. Then we'll close the public hearing.
No, you have to do for and against.
Okay, sorry. And is anyone for or against?
No one is registered in support. In opposition, we have Vanessa and Darcy.
So do you want to come forward? State your name and address, please.
My name is Vanessa Leonoff, 712 Blackdale Road.
Darcy Leonoff, 712 Blackdale Road.
Okay, go ahead. The reason for,
Considering that there's not supposed to be a business running out of that property right now, increase in traffic has increased at all hours of the day and night. We have tow trucks and flat decks coming in with vehicles and stuff like that. We do understand that there's potentially vehicles being stored there now from friends. When they pull out, they're ripping up and down the highway. There's also fires that are being held to burn, I'm assuming refuge in the backyard, that are potentially 10 to 12 feet tall. And I guess our question is according to the applicant's own words, he was looking to renew his permit for sales, and MPI, or whoever the governing body was, has requested a permit. So technically, he was potentially running without a permit already out of that space, based on his own words in the application. And in regards to the welfare of the health and general population of the area, can I ask one question first? Who is the registered owner of the property? Is it Jason Robertson, who is the person on the applicant?
I don't know if we can.
We don't have that information.
We don't have that
No,
information. So from my understanding, which coming from Jason Robertson, because my son had played hockey with him, that his father actually owned the property, not Jason himself. Now, this potentially was 7 years ago, so I don't know if there's been a transfer already done in regards to land titles. But if that be the case, he may or may not be the landowner himself. Since that property has been owned, and we'll just say by that family, they have never occupied it. It's only been rented out. In regards to some of his renters, we had the RCMP sitting at the end of the driveway one day to make sure stolen property had not been removed from the yard itself. So in regards to impacting us as a community, our vehicles and yards have already been gone through based on some of the renters they've had in there in the past. So we have just a concern is in regards to, we have a hard time taking this application at face value.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Or against?
In opposition is Rui Botello.
My wife is on there as well, so she'll just sit
Well,
as
let me
well.
say you each have to say your name.
So Rui Botello, 736 Blackdale, the adjoining property.
I'm Lucilia Pontes Botello.
Okay. Your
I'm
address?
sorry, you said 763?
736.
Seven.
Yeah.
And your address is the same?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Oh, sorry, 736 Blackdale.
Similar commentary. We've resided in the neighborhood 4 years now. Although listed as a home occupation, nobody occupies that home. No one lives there. It operates more as a place of business. We've come to believe in speaking with one of the people we see regularly that it's an office for a business that operates in the city of Winnipeg. So that's their office space, their shop spaces in the city. Was unaware of car sales, although there are normally cars on the property. There's 2 there today in the compound that's been surrounded by a black fence now. The safety of the area, I don't know that they're 12, they're probably 25 or 30-foot fires. They do get substantial. The department responded late in the summer, because it actually, in the dry season, it actually overtook the field, so they did respond. RCMP was there at 2 o'clock in the morning 3 weeks ago, because the fire was burning at 2 o'clock in the morning. There's traffic in and out all day long, all hours of the night. So from their application perspective, I don't believe it's at face value as well. If this was already existing, it's been existing without the conditional use permit. If you look at the corporation, is registered to a residence in St. Clements. So I think that again supports that this is not a home occupation. They state their hours of operating to be by appointment only, Sunday to Saturday, so that's a 7-day-a-week business. What time are the appointments? So are they gonna have people at 3 in the morning seeing cars? Is it gonna be 2:30 in the afternoon? So there's no hours of business necessarily specified. Additionally to that, they're not selling at auction. It notes in his letter of intent that he is procuring vehicles from auction platforms, ADESA, MECOM, others, with 2 vehicles per month maximum being sold, presumably off the property. And if sales will be done by appointment only, where do you see the vehicles if they're not on the property? So just number of questions on this application. I also do not believe it's being submitted at face value. And there's, again, concerns from general neighborhood, property. I ran into this on a previous property within the city. If this is something, fortunately enough, this is early enough to potentially stop something that affects values of property, because we've experienced that directly in the home that we had before we moved back to West St. Paul here. So that's the notes I have. Again, just activity and operating times and things. So again, I don't think this is at face value. I don't think it should be approved by council.
Question for the,
Go ahead.
sorry, what was your last name?
Botello.
Okay, question for you. The Quonset they have back there, is that their Quonset back there?
It was put in a year ago, maybe 18 months ago. Yeah.
To our planner, is there a permit registered for that?
Not that I can see.
Well, they would have to have a permit for that Quonset, would they not? Because it's a
yes.
building.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that's a bylaw violation right there. Okay. Okay, thanks for your input, appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
No one else registered in opposition. No one else here tonight registered in opposition. For information is Norma Elberg.
Okay.
Norma Alberg, 312 Evelyn Avenue. I would concur with the previous 2 in opposition. I came for information, but I have quote-unquote labeled this one as fishy because when you read the letter of intent, it doesn't follow that this is about the sale of cars, but the cars wouldn't be there, but they need the conditional use to have the cars there. If you go to the surveyor's plan that was up earlier, if the planner could bring that up, please. That one. And the information over on the right, if I recall correctly, this plan was done for a numbered company in, I believe, St. Andrews. And then it further says that the registered owners of the property are residents of the city of Winnipeg. And now there's this address here in Blackdale. So if the letter of intent is saying that they don't need any part of the property for cars, then why can't they just take one of the other addresses that are there in these three, either the one in St. Andrews or Winnipeg, and use that address? Why would they need this address? It doesn't follow. It's very fishy.
Thank you.
Also for information is Jerry Belinkie.
Jerry Belinkie, 354 Garden View. After hearing what the residents that live close by, I'd like to have my thing changed to against. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
We also received letters from 3 people in opposition. They're from Eldon Cron, Haley Sigfusson, Katrina Senek. You were provided their comments earlier, generally in line with what we heard this evening.
Thank you. Okay, so I guess since the applicant is not here, we can heard from the for and against. We'll close the public hearing. Be it resolved that council do hereby close the public hearing and resume the regular meeting of council. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Patcan moves. Can I second her, please?
I'll second.
Councilor Kleiber seconds it. Any comments, questions? I call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Takes us down to the resolution, 5.4.3 resolution, conditional use 4025. Whereas the applicant has applied for a conditional use 40/25 to permit a home occupation business for car sales on a subject property located at 748 Blacktail Road in the rural residential overlay zone. Vehicles for sale will not be on this premise. And whereas under the provisions of the Planning Act, a public hearing has been held to hear representation for and or against the conditional use application. Now therefore be it resolved that the rural municipality of West St. Paul approve conditional use 40/25 under the following conditions. This conditional use will be limited to what is presented in this application. Any further changes, replacements, or additions would require a new approval. 2, applicant owner obtain all required permits from the Red River Planning District and the municipality if required. 3, applicant owners to submit preliminary traffic projections to determine if a more detailed traffic impact study is required. The study, let me carry on here. If required, this study is to be prepared by a qualified engineer and will be determined by what impact the traffic generated by this development will have on the traffic operation at this location, and what, if any, on-highway improvements will be required. The cost of the traffic impact study and other requirements, any required on on-highway improvement, would be the responsibility of the developer. The approval of a conditional use will expire and cease to have any effect if it is not acted upon within 12 months of the date of the decision. A board, council, or planning commission may extend the deadline under subsection 110 for an additional period of no longer than 12 months. If an application is received before the initial deadline for a second period of no more than 12 months, if an application is received before the expiry of the first extension. Could I have a mover?
I'll move it for discussion, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Councilor Patcan moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
I'll second.
Councilor Clyburn seconds it. Councilor Patkan, you have a discussion?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, the applicant has decided not to attend, and there's a number of residents in the area that are not in favor of it, so I won't be supporting the application.
Mayor, if I may?
Yeah, go ahead, Councilor Clyburn.
Okay, I was the ward councillor 8 years ago in this area. Well, 4 years ago, really, until you took over. But I've never seen anybody occupy this building as residential. It's always been some kind of business. There's been nobody at the building ever that I was ever able to connect with, and I went back 3 times. And now suddenly there's a Quonset there. I mean, clearly to me, what's happening here is there is a business being run. And I think beyond this application, there needs to be some further bylaw enforcement here. Because if this building is, if nobody's occupying this residentially, then it's requires a business license to operate. And the Quonset in the back requires a permit. So I think we have to do a little bit more further work on this once we've decided what we're going to do. But I think we have to follow up on some bylaw here. And it's supposed to be residential. It's not supposed to be commercial. And I do not believe it's zoned for that. Am I correct there, Planner, Mr. Planner? It's not zoned residential. I mean, it's not zoned commercial.
Correct.
Yeah. It's supposed to be residential. So somebody's taken this upon themselves. I don't know. I've never, ever found anyone there. Have you, Councillor Patkan? You were also canvassing for?
I can't remember if I went to that place.
I went to it several times, never found anybody. So I'm not going to support this application. I saw the fires. I saw the pictures of the fires. And it's in violation. So there's no way. And I really, for the couple that came up here that live right beside it, and I know the couple lived across the street, my full empathy. This is not a great situation at all. We're going to have to address it beyond this hearing, I believe.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay. Can I call for the vote? All in favor? Seeing none, can I, any against?
Opposed?
Nay, opposed.
Opposed? Defeated? Down to 5.5, open public hearing.
You have to wait for
Georgia,
Councilor
yep.
Bichetti to come back.
Been defeated.
Be it resolved that this meeting of council recess for the purpose of holding a public hearing pursuant to section 105A of the Planning Act. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Patkan moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
Second.
Councilor Kleiber seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. I'll have the planner go to 5.1, public hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you noted, this is conditional use number 46 of 2025 for a property located at 1051 Capulus. The applicant is asking for approval of any other commercial use not listed category in order to establish a doggy daycare and dog grooming business. So here is the subject property. I think we're familiar with it. It's the number of different commercial units within 2 buildings. And here's a bit of a floor plan of what these units have a second floor as well. I think it's about 3,500 square feet, the units in size. So the applicant has proposed that they're going to operate a daycare, doggy daycare and grooming business to operate Monday to Friday, 7 to 6, and Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 4. The applicants, the owner, and their spouse, as well as employees through rotating shifts, will be working the business. They believe it will accommodate approximately 30 to 45 dogs at the maximum for the daycare and grooming. Should council wish to approve this, pardon me, there are, I believe, 3 conditions in front of you relating to limiting the conditional use to what's been proposed. Obtaining all required permits from our office and your office if required, as well as
Okay. Council, have any questions to the planner? Can we have the applicant come forward, please? Good. So is it just you going to be speaking, or?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
okay. Name and address, please.
Are you here on behalf of the applicant?
Yes, I am.
The
So my name is
applicant's right
Pascal Toupin-Sellinger, president of Castor Group, consulting firm. And I'm here on behalf of Coleman Collar Grooming, Inc., for their conditional use application at Unit 19, 1051 Capitalist Drive. So Grooming Collar Grooming, Inc., the applicant has signed a lease for Unit 19 at the AWC Business Center. The tenant will occupy roughly 3,450 square feet of multi-tenanted space in the building. And then a new tenant intends to use this light industrial space and associated outdoor storage for a doggy daycare, dog grooming, and pet supply retail outlet. The core business activity of the tenant is focused on providing dog daycare services and dog grooming services. They also plan to have a small retail outlet selling pet food, toys, and other supplies. And to accommodate the dog daycare, the applicant intends to fence off the space behind the building or directly behind the overhead door for an outdoor space for the dog daycare. That will also be fenced off. The subject property is currently zoned commercial highway, and we have the uses expressed in the table. The retail component is a permitted use under the commercial highway zone. However, there is no specific detailed use for a dog daycare or dog grooming service. Therefore, it would fall under the conditional uses of any other commercial use not listed in the table. The location is actually quite ideal for a dog daycare and grooming service. This is why the applicant chose to sign a lease for this space, as it is close to many residential homes, and on the way for most people's commute out of the area. It should also be noted that the applicant is undertaking the interior renovations in the unit to accommodate those renovations. We've got preliminary drawings shown above. But if we get a conditional use approved here, they're going to move forward with a formal drafting of plans to be submitted for building permits for the interior tenant fit-up of the space. So in addition to interior partition walls and the fence in the rear yard, the other work is simply doing those partition walls, et cetera. So the applicant's operations are low impact in nature, and they're compatible with other commercial activities in the area. We don't anticipate any significant noise since the hours of operations don't call for overnight stays, and there's no emissions or heavy traffic, and there's no real work happening outside other than having an area for the dogs to be released outside so they get fresh air and relieve themselves, etc. So yeah, this aligns with the CH zone's objective of having a broad range of highway-oriented commercial uses. Thank you very much.
Jenny, you have some questions?
Yes.
I'm not sure if you can answer this, but was this application brought to us before?
No, there's actually was an approval back in 2021 for a similar business for another dog daycare and grooming service. And I believe the business that never actually ended up doing their tenant fit up or operating because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
No, I just remember approving one. I just wanted to see if this was one that didn't make it through in the timeline.
So I do have the document here showing that in 2021, Unit 14 and 16 at the same address, 1051 Capitalist, was approved for a dog grooming and doggy daycare.
Councillor Kleiber?
Okay, so the kennel outside is 400 square feet. Is it going to be sodded, or are you putting turf in there?
I believe it's just an artificial turf that's being put in there.
Okay, why would you do that?
Because currently there's pavement on the site, so the owner of the building does not want that pavement to be removed. They rather have an artificial turf placed on top of it.
And the dogs are going to relieve themselves on the artificial turf?
Yeah, I've actually used that product in multifamily developments that I've done in the past.
How do you clean it?
The material itself is draining. It has an ability to have perforation and it drains, and the makeup of the material doesn't retain odors or
So it drains onto the
pathogens.
concrete underneath?
Correct.
And then where does that go? Do you have some drainage
Well,
close to that?
Like any other commercial use in these multi-tenanted developments, they would have to go to a catch basin. Catch basins typically have dirt and oil separators associated with them. So it's not uncommon for any of these commercial operations to have stuff draining outside, whether it be washing machines, other applications that you would see in these types of developments that then lead to a catch basin that's within the property.
So, you've got the building there, so where is this 400 square feet? Is that little square there that's sort of inside the building?
No,
or
that would be a representation of the overhead garage door that's currently there.
Okay.
If we go to the site plan, which I believe was provided as well. I have a paper copy right here.
You have a
Each-
picture of it, but.
Yeah. Well, that's just a picture of the property, but I do have the site plan of the entire development. So each bay or unit in this development are provided with a bollard space directly behind the overhead door, and that's meant for parking or for unloading or any outdoor storage that's required by a particular tenant. And that's where this the fencing would be accommodated to allow for an outdoor space. So it doesn't get in the way in the fire lane or the loading lanes that exist on the property.
So, are the dogs gonna be walked at all, or are they just going in the kennel and that's their outdoor?
I would probably,
If you're gonna, then you should just come forward.
Yeah.
Maybe you should just come forward.
yeah, if you could come forward to ask, because that's specifics to their business, so I'd like for them to speak to it.
State your name and address.
Heidi Belmatowski, 101 River Edge Drive.
Okay.
So we will be doing the daycare inside and then the outdoor pen, as well as they can add on dog walks if the dogs would like if they would like them to be walked as well.
Okay, where would you walk them? Like in this area?
Just like around there, wherever there's like grass and stuff, and then we would obviously bring poop bags and stuff to clean up after them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably take them into the residential area?
Yeah, like not,
I don't know how safe it is out there on Capitolus, kind of concerns me.
yeah,
Little dogs, big dogs.
that's
But
true.
they need a little bit of walking instead
Yeah.
of just being thrown in a kennel, like they're
For
gonna
sure,
get.
yeah.
Yeah, they're
I
gonna get
mean-
squirrely.
Yeah, like the daycare will be like all open, so they can all just like kind of run around and stuff, and then go outside as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you running the doggy daycare?
Yeah, so me and my husband, we run one on Henderson right now. It's just grooming.
Oh,
So
okay.
we wanted to add a second location to do grooming and daycare.
The one on Henderson?
Coleman Collar Grooming.
Oh, okay. I've never.
So they have an existing business, and from what I've heard from people in the neighborhood, it's quite well run, and people like bringing their pets there.
Yeah, well, I think we need something in West St. Paul. We
Yeah,
always
there's-
needed it, and we were hoping on the last one, and then
Yeah.
there was some issues with the landlord, I think, and that's why it never went through.
Especially with how fast it's expanding and all the people, and there's not really anywhere for people to take their dogs here. So,
Especially daycare.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you.
Any other questions? No? How many dogs is the capacity to hold this?
We're gonna start with just small to medium dogs and probably like up to about 30, I would say. We're gonna follow the same standards that are required in Winnipeg. for
Okay.
Size, yeah.
And what are those standards?
For small dogs, it's 20 square foot per dog, and then large dogs, it's 35 square feet per dog.
So I noticed that you mentioned about noise, that there isn't much noise, but with that many dogs, there may be some noise. So what are you going to do to mitigate that noise?
Yeah, so the flooring that we're putting in, it's a rubber flooring, so it like kind of absorbs the noise as well that we've heard from other daycares. And
Like a gym flooring.
yeah, it kind of absorbs it a bit. But I don't think we'll have too many problems with noise there.
You have tenants beside you, on either side of you or not?
We do, yeah.
The noise won't filter through the walls?
We were talking to the landlord there, and he was saying the business is there, it shouldn't be a problem.
And if it is a problem?
Then we'll have to put in some soundproofing in the walls. Yeah. We have kind of looked into that already, if that
Yeah.
becomes an issue.
Okay, no.
Their plans already show to do a suspended ceiling in the area where most of the dogs are going to be gathered, like the larger bay area where normally you would have a shop bay is where they plan to have the dogs indoors, but all that ceiling space is being finished. So that it doesn't create an echo effect in there.
Oh, it doesn't? Okay. Okay. Any other questions?
So your top floor, it says quiet room. What's that for? Just
Just for
staff?
dogs that need like a break, like sometimes
Oh,
if
I
they get
see.
too overwhelmed or something, or they're tired, then they can have a little nap. We'll make it nice, like a cozy spot for them.
Okay. Okay, yeah, if they're getting a little squirrely there.
Yeah.
Okay, and so your grooming's on the main floor then?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you done a daycare before? Have you had
I
any
haven't,
experience?
no. I've taken like the doggy daycare business course.
Yeah.
But I've worked in daycare but I've never obviously owned a daycare, but
Okay, so this can be a new experience
it's
for
gonna be a
you.
little bit new, yeah. We're doing
Okay.
our research though.
Yeah. And you're taking all sizes of dogs?
Yeah, we're gonna start with small to medium, just to
Yeah.
kind of get our feet in there and then see how that goes.
Okay, all right.
Where did you take your course from?
It was IAP College. It was an online course.
And where are they located?
It was just on, I'm not sure where they're located. I
Oh.
just did it all online.
There, you said IP College?
I think it's IAP. I'd have to double check that though.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any objection, anyone for?
We do have Reed Balamatowski in support as well. No one registered against. For information is Norma Elberg.
Okay. You good? Okay.
And we also have Gerald Belinky for information.
Gerald Belenky, 354 Garden View Drive. I support it, but I'm sort of cautioned. If you have about 40 dogs and we have those residents right behind that area there, so that's the only concern I have is about the noise. But just to be aware of it ahead of time because 30 dogs, they're not all coming friends. They do bark. So that's the only concern I have about it. I think the idea is good, but I just sort of caution about that.
Okay, so they have already
I'm sorry?
they have already indicated that they're aware of the possible noise that is happening. And-
I'm talking about the outside ones.
Oh, the outside? Okay.
So
Outside?
that's the concern. I don't know what the process is, but if you let a bunch of dogs into the 400 square foot area, I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
There's no guarantee they all like each other.
Anyone else? Any other for and against? No? Okay, I guess I'll ask the applicant to come forward to address the concern that was raised. Just the outside noise, right?
It's, and there's not the intent to have all the dogs in that small 400 square foot space. And they do vet the pets to make sure that they're not something that they can't handle. And again, not all the dogs will be out there at the same time. And if the dogs start to bark and get noisy, they come back inside where then the noise is not an issue. I actually live a block away from a similar business in Norwood, St. Boniface, and they had to have a conditional use and a variance to establish an outdoor yard. A lot of people in the neighborhood, including the condo building that was directly behind that, did express the same concerns of noise. And since they've operated and been approved, it's never been an issue because whenever a dog starts to bark or act out, they just bring them back inside and put them in the quiet room or if they don't get along with the other dogs, there's space in the space that's made available to separate dogs that are not getting along or causing a ruckus. So.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I'll now close the public hearing. Be it resolved that I hereby close the public hearing and resume the regular meeting of council. Could I have a mover, please? Councilor Machete moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
A second.
Councilor Kleiber seconds. Any comments, questions? Can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Down to 5.3, resolution conditional use, CU 4625. Okay. Is this a new one? Yes, okay. Be it resolved that council does hereby close the public hearing. Wait a minute. We did that one? Okay.
You're doing the resolution
That's
now?
right. I'm doing the resolution.
Whereas.
Whereas, that's right, thank you. Whereas the applicant has applied for conditional use 4625 to permit a dog daycare and dog grooming business at 1051 Kapler's Drive in the Commercial Highway Zone. And whereas under provisions of the Planning Act, a public hearing has been held to hear representation for and or against the conditional use application. Now therefore be it resolved that the rural municipality of West St. Paul approve conditional use 4625 under the following condition. This conditional use is limited to what has been presented in this application. Any further changes, replacements, or additions would require a new approval. Applicant owner obtain all required permits from the Red River Planning District and the municipality if required. Applicant owner obtain a revised landscape plan showing fencing location and fence design specifics that must be submitted and approved by the municipality prior to installation. The approval of a conditional use will expire and cease to have any effect if it is not acted upon within 12 months of the date of the decision. A board, council, or planning commission may extend the deadline under subsection 110-1 for an additional period no longer than 12 months if an application is received before the initial deadline, and for a second period of no more than 12 months if an application is received before the expiry of the first extension. Could I have a mover, please?
I'll second.
Councilor Bichetti moves, Councilor Kleiber seconds it. Any comments, questions?
I think it's a great addition to West St. Paul. I've been waiting for this for a while. I was hoping the other one would go through, and it didn't. So it'll be nice to have grooming in West St. Paul. And I encourage you to invite us to your opening. I'd like to see the building and see what you've put together. I think it'll be great, and I'm fully in support of this application.
Councilor Paxton.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I think the applicant has done a good job here with their presentation, and looks like the owners have done their due diligence, and I want to wish them best of luck and wish them well in their business.
Thank you. Can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Takes us down to 6.1, second reading by zoning bylaw amendment. Be it resolved that the zoning bylaw 2024-07 being a bylaw of the rural municipality of West St. Paul to rezone the subject land located at 401 McMain Street from RG residential to RS service residential, and to rezone an additional unaddressed parcel located at on Masters Avenue from A4 to agriculture, A4 agriculture to RMF-1. Service multifamily residential 1 and OS open space be read a second time as confirmed by the municipality of the Municipal Board of Manitoba through an appeal process subject to the municipal board's following terms and conditions. That the owners and the rural municipality of West St. Paul enter into a development agreement pursuant to section 150 and 151 of the Planning Act. That the development agreement will provide, among other matters, that no development of the RMF1 land shall occur until such time as a supplemental development agreement for the RMF1 lands has been entered into between the owners and the rural municipality of West St. Paul, and that the council of the rural municipality of West St. Paul shall proceed with first, second, and third reading of bylaw 2024-7P without a public hearing within a reasonable time following the date of Order B/25/007 as ordered by the Municipal Board of Manitoba. Could I have a mover, please?
I'll move, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Paxton Bichetti moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
I'll second it.
Councilor Paxton seconds it. Can I have any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. 6.2, third reading of zoning bylaw amendment BL 2024-7, resolution number 025. Be it resolved that the bylaw 2024-7P being a bylaw of the rural municipality of West St. Paul to rezone the subject land located at 4041 Main Street from RG residential to RS service residential, and to rezone an unaddressed parcel of land located on Masters Avenue from A4 agriculture to RMF1 service multifamily residential 1 and OS open space be read a third and final time. signed, sealed, and therefore passed by a bylaw of the rural municipality of West St. Paul as confirmed by the Municipal Board of Manitoba through an appeal process subject to the Municipal Board's following terms and conditions. That the owners and the rural municipality of West St. Paul enter into a development agreement pursuant to Section 150 and 151 of the Planning Act. B, that development agreement be provided, among other matters, that no development of the RMF lands shall occur until such time as a supplemental development agreement for the RMF1 lands has been entered into between the owners and the rural municipality of West St. Paul, and that Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul shall proceed with the first, second, and third readings of the bylaw 2024 P without a public hearing with a reasonable time following the date of Order B/25/007 as ordered by the Municipal Board of Manitoba. This is a recorded vote. Could I have a mover, please? Councilor Bichetti moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
Second.
Councilor Campbell, Patrick seconds it. Any comments, questions? Can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
You got Councilor Campbell? Okay. Okay, that ends that. That takes us down to 8.1. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held on September 25th, 2025 be approved. Could I have a mover, please? Councilor Bichetti moves. Can I second it, please?
Second.
Councilor Patrick seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. 9.1, bylaw considerations. First reading of indemnity bylaw 2025-10. Be it resolved that the bylaw 2020-10 being a...
Mr. CEO, order. Need to see.
Yeah, you do have an administrative report for it. I can give you highlights if you like, or
Yes.
jump right into the into the resolution if you want.
Okay.
So what you have before you tonight, Council, is the first reading of an indemnity bylaw 2025-10. Section 124(2) of the Municipal Act authorizes council by bylaw to set types, rates, and conditions of payments to be made to on behalf of members of council and council committees as compensation for attending to municipal business for expenses incurred while attending municipal business and any other purpose relating to municipal business that council considers appropriate. Indemnity bylaw 2023-04 received third reading on April 27th, 2023. You have two options before you tonight. Council can give first reading of the indemnity bylaw, or the alternative is to not give first reading. The proposed bylaw establishes the types of indemnity and allowances payable to members of council and would take effect November 1st, 2025. Proposed changes to the bylaw provide that annual indemnities, per diem payments, and travel living expenses will be tied directly to the council indemnity policy rather than being fully detailed in the bylaw itself. Proposed resolution is before you, and any questions, happy to answer.
Got any questions? None? Okay. So, okay, I'll read the resolution. Be it resolved that the bylaw 2025-10 being a bylaw of the rural municipality of West St. Paul to establish indemnities to be paid to members of council and repeal bylaw number 2023-4 be read a first time. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Patrick moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
I'll second.
Councilor Kleiber seconds it. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Okay, now we're down to 9.2. I believe there's an administration report again.
Yes, thank you, Council. What you have before you again tonight is the first reading for Procedures Bylaw 2025-11. Section 149(1) of the Municipal Act requires Council to establish by bylaw the rules and procedures and review of the bylaw at least once during its term of office. Procedures Bylaw 2025-01 received third reading on January 23rd, 2025. The bylaw was created to regulate the proceedings and conduct of council and committees thereof. Council has two options before you this evening, one to give reading or the alternative to not. Proposed updates to the procedure bylaw include remove a reference to the Committee of the Whole of Council, establish 3 regular meetings of council each month, remove reference to regular planning and Committee of the Whole meetings throughout, update the agenda order of business, remove requirements to post notices of educational briefings in the municipal office, on the municipal website, or by email, clarification on the reading of resolutions allowed, and 18.0 update of bylaw to repeal. Council has a resolution before it this evening.
Comments, questions? Okay, go ahead, Councillor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. So just looking, essentially what I understand is that with 3 meetings of council, we now have the ability to vote 3 times rather than just twice, because we have the Committee of the Whole where we don't have any resolutions or votes. And then I just want to get clarification on what does the update the agenda order of business mean, those 2 items?
So in the procedural bylaw, currently it's listing the order of how the meetings are organized and the topics of the different groupings. So this is just modernizing some of the topics and giving some flexibility to adjust as how the meeting is the meeting's laid out for each meeting. So it's really in reference to, as you see here before you, for example, we're under section 9.0 bylaws for consideration. So that would be one of those headings that's included in the procedural bylaw, and administration is recommending some changes to streamline some of those operations and clean up some of the look of the agenda.
I guess, and what's the reason for removing educational briefings to be posted on municipal office and municipal websites by email? What's the rationale for it?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We found that there's some confusion to residents when we're posting a meeting notice that they're not able to attend, and is somewhat limited in the description of what is being discussed. So we have received comments that residents don't appreciate being not able to attend meetings that we're posting publicly.
I guess I understand what you're saying, but I'm looking more for transparency. I think that having these educational briefings posted is transparency, because there is a topic agenda that is submitted, and it gives them an idea of what is being discussed.
So there is
might become kind of secretive, I guess. Go ahead.
So there's an opportunity for council to still maintain that sort of transparency. On every council meeting, you have an opportunity to enter general comments or to put your mayor's report or your council reports that get included, I think once a month that we're presenting those. You by all means could represent in there educational briefings or meetings and topics, no different than what is going out in the terms of notice. And you could report those if you so chose in your own council reports or mayor reports. In addition, administration may sporadically include some of those that are of relevance in their administrative reports as well.
Okay. Councilor.
You said we could list our educational briefings in there. You could list it in there, but you can't go into detail of what it's about, because technically an educational briefing is in camera.
Yeah, you could say exactly the same thing that you would have potentially posted online, and just avoiding some of that confusion. So.
Yeah.
Just have another question. The clarification on reading resolutions allowed, what is that?
That is an attempt to expedite our council process. So as you have experienced, resolutions are prepared ahead of time. We may modify a little bit of the process so you see it all in front of you on your screens, on your laptops. We may actually be able to post them for the public as well to see if they haven't prepared or brought their own packages. But the purpose here is to expedite the amount of time where our meetings are very full. There's quite often times where we can't get through all the matters. So we're looking for opportunities to try to speed up some of that process. The reading of resolutions, especially planning related sort of matters, are long and take a lot of time. And if we can expedite some of those processes, minutes start to add into half hours and start to add into an hour, and we start to have the ability to do the business of the municipality more efficiently. All of these suggestions are to improve the efficiency of our meetings and of our council.
Thank you. I like that one.
So I guess, because now that all meetings are regular meetings, is the planning still going to be on one specific Thursday, or can we have planning?
So there will be an attempt to try to schedule in bulk and group some of these just for the sake of the staff that need to attend.
Okay.
But there will be the flexibility to deal with some of those matters on any of the other 2 meetings as well, if that need should be arise. So, as you see here, you've got quite often on the planning meetings. Red River Planning Group is here representing their matters, right? So I don't know necessarily that they have availability, three council meetings in a month to attend our issues, right? So those are things we will have to manage in terms of a workload, but this gives council and administration more ability to move some of these pressing issues forward more quickly and more expedited.
So hopefully it might reduce the amount of special meetings we have then, right?
I would sure love that. I'm sure you would as well.
Well, if we can have those planning things on.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Well, all of these matters that we're looking at now, Mayor, after the planning meeting, could have been on the Tuesday meeting,
Correct.
and they could have already been done.
Yeah.
And then all we're dealing with is planning on the Thursday.
Yeah.
Once we're done, we're done. Yeah.
Nope, okay.
Good.
Any other comments, questions? I don't know if Councillor Campbell has anything to add or nothing? Okay. Okay, good. So I'll read the resolution. Where am I here? Resolution. Be it resolved that the bylaw 2025-11 being a bylaw of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul to regulate the proceedings and conduct of council and the committee thereof, repeal bylaw 2025-01, be read a first time. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Councillor Kleiber moves. Councillor Bichetti seconds it. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. We're down to 9.3, second reading of appropriation bylaw 2025-12. Be it resolved that the bylaw 2025 being a bylaw of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul to expropriate a portion of the land for the purpose of a water line be read a second time. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Paxton moves. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? As the, trying to get here. Any, none? Okay, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Okay, 9.4, third reading of appropriation bylaw 2025. Be it resolved that the bylaw 2025 being a bylaw of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul to expropriate a portion of the land for the purpose of a water line to be read a third and final time, signed, sealed, and therefore passed as a bylaw of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Sorry, should I let you guys know this is a recorded vote? Councilor Paxton moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
I'll second.
Councilor Kleiber seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, carried. Okay, it takes us down to number 13. CEO's report.
Mr. Mayor, can you maybe let the CEO introduce his report? It looks like it's a brand new style and format.
Yeah, I will speak to it a little bit here for you. So this is one of those many initiatives that you're starting to see administration bring different recommendations to council, one of them being the CEO report. So the guidelines that I've given my management team and moving forward as we're looking to minimize the amount of time that we're spending on administrative tasks and focus on the services. And some of these administrative reports was consuming actually quite a lot of time for some departments. Two, some of the data that was included in there wasn't maybe as valuable to others. And so what we're trying to do here is, A, create a report that's a little bit more visual, attractive to read, but two, it's really hitting the highlights of the departments and some of the key activities that they're doing, both from the last month's perspective and as well as a little bit of a future look moving forward. The goal moving forward, especially when we have more time tonight, we're a little bit pressed, so I will probably just go over this very quickly for you, is to highlight 2 or 3 points from each of these reports and then open it up for questions should you have anything else that's included on there. Each department is still providing a bit of an update. So planning and development update, for example, you'll see updates in regards to several different developments that they're currently managing or in the process of. Some numbers as it relates to permits and lot grades and different activities. Red River Planning is also included in there for some statistics and additional projects that they're working on. As we get to human resources, you'll see an update in regards to recruitment. There's a number of positions that are currently active in various stages of that recruitment process. some training. So they applied for the Canada Manitoba Job Grant was applied for to cover training expenses for the upcoming year. We've been looking and starting to move our way through a significant policy review project. So we are going, each department is essentially presenting and reviewing and modifying or presenting for modification any internal administrative review, policies. HR has dealt with bereavement and some other internal ones that we're dealing with, and still moving ahead our health and safety program. You'll see some update from our projects department on some of the major ones, meaning the Reservoir East expansion, the LID catchment areas, Parkview Point, and all the other developments. Main Street water main extension project is underway or has started this week, and some procurement updates as it relates to some of the smaller procurement activities that projects has been tasked with. From an operations perspective, you'll see some information as it relates to utilities and public works, some of the activities that are being completed. Bulrush cutting has been taking place over the last week or week and a half, so you'll see some of our crew out there looking at that and getting things ready for the winter, which is probably fast approaching. Community services in the middle of their fall programming. They've highlighted here some of their one-off or events or rentals that have taken place over the course of September, in addition to some of the ones that are upcoming. They have their Halloween movie drive-in coming up, a craft sale as well. Actually, a couple craft sales, 19th and 25th. The indoor garage sale, Remembrance Day service is also coming. Finance department, some of their highlights that they're dealing with this over the last course of the month here. So they're still trying to wrap up audit inquiries from the auditor in regards to the 2024 audit. Utility rate study is expected to be completed here by mid-November, hopefully. Utility billing, Q3 utility billings in progress. Taxes were due September 29th. They processed 1,369 receipts in the last week of September and saw 383 people use the tax drive-through. As of September 30th, Finance is estimating we've collected 83% roughly of the outstanding 2025 taxes that were levied on rolls. In regards to support services, so that's, if you'll recall, essentially a reorganization or a new department within the municipality here. They've been looking and working on policies, a significant amount of work being done on policies, updating municipal tendering and procurement policies. And we're also, to go along with the indemnity bylaw you have tonight, there is mention of an indemnity policy. So that will be coming as well to council, along with an audio and video recording policy update that we've recently finalized. Number of bylaw updates, project updates. This department's also looking after the project of transitioning our meeting software to a new provider that will provide, again, for some more efficiency, both administratively and through council, and as well through citizens and their ability to access information from council meetings. Communication software discussions and demonstrations have commenced. We've also closed, as of today, actually a tender opened our RFP for the administrative building and for the recreation master plan. So both of those received significant interest. Do you remember the number of?
Yes, the administration building RFP received 8 responses, and the recreation master plan received 5 responses.
Fire departments provided some statistics here and some additional statistics. So they're not only reporting on kind of current statistics, but I've asked them now to start comparing it in comparison to previous years. So you can start to see now kind of a trend as they're in regards to their service that they're providing. And the types of calls that they were receiving. So for example, the total month for September was 46 calls, 7 were automatic alarms, 4 were CO alarms, 23 medical calls. So that's 50% of the calls that they're dealing with there are medically related. Motor vehicle accident, structure fire, and water rescue. Still have a current department membership of 39 members, and then they're also highlighting some of their safety and maintenance activities, including their training and operations activities there. Fire prevention was also a significant event for them, so they attended a number of public education events that month, community events, school fire safety presentations, handed out over 450 fire safety booklets were distributed, so these were provided to the department at no cost with our partnership with Community Safety Net. And that is essentially the report from the CAO. I'm open to any questions that you may have on things I've glossed over or mentioned.
So, any other questions? Go ahead.
Or you want to go ahead?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much, Mr. CAO. I'm enjoying the new format, and thanks for speaking to some of the points. With regards to operations, and you alluded to it, I know winter is just around the corner, and it's something that we deal with, and I know the RM is very good at snow clearing, but I wanted to ask, is there going to be a discussion with council on the review of the standards with regards to snow clearing?
Yes. Do you have that schedule? Service level schedule? No. So one of the new initiatives that under my administration is going to be presenting is regularly scheduled service level reviews. So, identifying, let's say, the top 10 to 12 sort of key core services that the municipality provides, and they're found in different departments, and bringing them back to council ideally before they kind of heat their peak. So, for example, snow clearing would have been probably brought August, July, August sort of thing for discussion on what are our established service levels, and is there any sort of adjustment to that policy and those service levels that council wants to make, and that we can implement them prior to. I don't know if we're going to get to that for this season here, just based on the amount of time that I've had, and this is kind of a new initiative, but you will see that, I will guarantee you, within the next 12 months prior to the next snowfall, a review of that service, in addition to a number of other services that the municipality has.
So are you saying, okay, let me just ask you this. I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. Are you saying for this winter season, like whenever it starts to snow, December, we're not going to have an opportunity to review the snow level?
I don't know if I don't have one scheduled yet. I mean, we already got an RFP out for contracting of some of our snow clearing activities that we normally do. I think it might be a little late for us to change that service level at this stage of game, because potentially a change to service level may require, depending on what the nature of the change is, but it could require additional equipment or manpower, which is in that sort of department could be hard to ramp up in a very short period of time.
I see what you're saying. So all I wanted to put is just put a thought in your ear, because I'm not sure if we have a policy to deal with drifting. So, and I'm talking for the morning rush hour traffic, when there's a lot of drifting in certain areas of the RM, and certain areas are prone to that, and it causes problems for residents trying to go to work in the morning, where there's lots of drifting occurring. I just wanted to put that out there to see if we can address that for this season.
Yeah, so within your policy, and I'm sorry I don't have it in front of me here, but traditionally you would have the identification of priority routes, right? So council will have the ability, and sometimes that's a relatively easy change for us to make. If you feel that on a snowfall, or a major snow event, if one road is more problematic or more important, problematic is probably not the right word, but more important to clear prior to others, typically it's emergency routes, main thoroughfares, school bus routes, those sorts of things, right? Usually we'll have a higher priority rating and require, we will want to service those roads first, and then we start to move down to like our second and our third priorities in residential areas and such, right? If you feel that there's a road in particular that is not prioritized correctly, then we can, administration can take a look at that and probably make some adjustments to that. If that's the wishes of council, but usually there's going to be impact on either side, right? So if we're moving one road ahead, it's going to mean that something else is going to get done a little bit slower, right? So,
thank you, appreciate that. The only one that comes to mind is where there are situations where there's one way in, one way out. Those roads, if there's drifting on those roads, to me that makes sense to have to be prioritized for.
Now I know, and again, I haven't been here during the course of winter yet, but I will say that most of the feedback that I've received has been that actually our operations department is fairly effective in clearing our roads, or the majority of our roads, within a very short period of time, right? So there may be a little bit of gap, but if all of our roads are done within, my indications, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but typically within 24 hours or less, That's a pretty high standard to meet, and there are not a lot of other municipalities that are probably hitting that threshold. If you're trying to get them all done within 12, that's a different story, but.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments.
The snow clearing over the last few years has improved. I guess since council came on board, that was one of the focus that we had with council, was to make sure that when there was snow warning, that the policy states that they start at 5 o'clock. And that's what we had them work on to get them to start at 5 o'clock. Before that, it was sometimes later, but now it's been pretty consistent. I see them going down the roads a little more frequently, a little more often. And it is true, they are not taking, they've also improved the amount of time to 24 hours. It is impressive what they've done over the last number of years. So it is good, so. It's been good. So I have a question here. It has to do with the water reservoir. So from what I read, where do I find it? It's delayed. And they talk about, here it is. Yes, 1690 reservoir east expansion. So liquidated damages at 2,500 per working day over the contract completion date. So from what I'm reading here is that the project was supposed to be completed in September 26th. It won't be till February 23rd. So does that mean they're being charged now for this late, or how does that work? What's the meaning of all that, I guess, is what I'm trying to...
Yeah, in retrospect, it probably shouldn't have been necessarily included in there. I think he's just, the contract specifies that there's a provisions for that, like a lot of other contracts will that we have.
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to tell you if that's necessarily taking place or not, and if it was, it would be probably an in-camera or closed session. That would be a legal matter that's transpiring. So
okay.
I think the purpose of this update is just to say that, there was provisions in the contract, no different than any other contract that we enter into, for delays in service or delays in delivery. This one's a little complicated because there's a lot of moving parts to it.
Yeah.
And actually, some of the delays are actually, no pun intended, are actually related to the parts and the availability. And some of them's coming from the United States, and there's different pressures and different issues that are impacting the delivery or receipt of some of those. So to find, these are kind of complicated legal matters sometimes, and to find fault of one party over another for a potential delay is sometimes not as easy as it seems, right? So
No,
there could be liquidated damages. There could be damages as it relates to it. I think that's something that gets sorted out probably after the fact.
So what you're saying is it depends a lot of times on the circumstances, like.
It will.
Yeah. If it's
And the
out of their
strength,
control
and the
or-
reason and the strength of the case, and absolutely. But that would likely be a matter that's resolved legally.
Yeah, okay. No, that's good. That's it. Any other questions? Okay, go down to, where was your? No, we have to be it resolved that the Council of the Municipality accept the CEO's report as information. Can I have a mover, please? Councilor Bichetti moves. Seconder, please.
Second.
Councilor Campbell Bichetti's Pactican seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, carried. Down to 15.15, general business, 15.1, miscellaneous meeting dates. Be it resolved that the Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul authorize the attendance of the following meetings. September 3rd, RM of West St. Paul and Seven Oaks School Division meetings to CESU planning. I was in attendance at it. September 15th, development meeting, Councilor Kleiber. And
Councillor Bichetti and Campbell were also there.
Okay, so we add those two, okay. And September 27th, Giant Pumpkin Fest, Deputy Mayor Pactican and Councilor Kleiber were in attendance.
And Councillor Campbell.
And Councilor Campbell, okay. Any others? Okay, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Go ahead.
I'll move.
I didn't do that?
Second.
Okay, thanks. Thought I did. Okay, so can I call?
Moved by Bichetti.
Okay, it was moved by Bichetti, seconded by Councilor Kleiber. Any comments, questions? Can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Hearing none, carried. 15.2, Canada Day. Be it resolved that the Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul approve and leave the Council Day surplus of $34,442.43 in the operating budget. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Council Patkar moves. Can I have a seconder, please? Council Machete seconds. Any comments, questions? None? I was looking at it. It's, so we have a surplus of $151, $151,000.
158.
158. So that's not going to increase that surplus, correct?
Well, I think the point is, Mayor, is that the revenues, if you note, are from the RM operating budget. So there's 83,000 from the operating budget. So in essence, we're putting some of that back now that it's surplus.
Yeah. Okay. Can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. 15.3, Council Indemnity Policy. I guess there's administrative report.
Yeah, thank you, Council. So again, this is kind of part 2 to the indemnity bylaw that was brought before you for first reading this evening. Section 124.2 of the Municipal Act authorizes Council by bylaw to set these types, rates, and conditions of payments to be made to or on behalf of members of Council and Council committees as compensation for attending to municipal business, for expenses incurred while attending to municipal business, and any other purpose relating to municipal business that Council considers appropriate. The existing Council Indemnity Bylaw 2023-04 sets indemnities directly within the bylaw. To provide greater flexibility and transparency, a standalone Council indemnity policy has been developed. So this is a new policy, which consolidates indemnity details and provides examples of when claims are eligible or ineligible. The proposed Indemnity Bylaw 2025-10 will repeal the current Indemnity Bylaw and provides that annual indemnities, per diem payments, and travel living expenses are tied directly to the Council indemnity policy that's before you this evening, rather than fully detailed within the bylaw itself. Council has 2 options today: to approve and adopt the policy before you, or to not approve the policy and send administration back with recommendations. The proposed council indemnity policy establishes detailed provisions for annual indemnities for the mayor, deputy mayor, and councilors, per diem rates for meetings outside of regular council meetings, eligible expenses for travel, training, and conferences, and clear guidelines on claims. You have a copy of the policy before you, proposed policy before you. Again, you will notice even the formatting of our policies have been updated to not only reflect our brand standards, but for ease of reading and use.
Okay. Any comments or questions on this?
Yeah, just a quick question.
Go ahead, Councilor Kleiber.
So budget meetings would be part of our regular indemnity then?
Defer to Laney to answer that question.
It says educational. We're entitled to claim a per diem indemnity when attending or participating in educational briefings, so
Budget
that would
be-
then be allowed, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Just as it is now with a special meeting or an educational briefing, you would
Educational briefings then would fall underneath, or budgets would fall underneath educational briefings then, right?
So what is the per diem? Like what is,
They rounded it up, I see, right?
like a,
Yes, so one of the recommendations here is to actually tie the rates of per diem to CRA's National Travel Directive. So what you'll see here is that in this policy, it's referring to that policy. So that policy, which is a federal policy, and it actually has specific rates for each province, given a number of factors, is revisited twice a year, so October 1st and April 1st of every year. And so
does
this
mileage though?
mileage and per diems for meals and everything else.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
So this
yeah.
is just
Pretty high
directly,
right
this
now.
is just directing, this is just linking our policy to what our current, our current standard is in Canada, yeah. A lot of municipalities will actually use this as their standard.
But we would just charge the 4-hour or over 4-hour rate.
Yeah, so Councilor Clyburn was asking about meals and rates. Your meeting is different, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking about, the meeting.
Yes, the meeting is different. The meals, the lunch, breakfast, whatever,
Yeah.
those sorts of things are
That's under
dictated
the
by the.
CRA, yeah.
That's correct, yeah.
So if we're in a 8-hour budget meeting, we're going with the sum of $260 per meeting. Okay.
That's correct.
I like how you've put examples of ineligible and eligible claims. I think that's adds some clarity to some of the things that we've been dealing with. Okay, any other questions for this, to the CEO? Hearing none, okay, I'll read the resolution. Be it resolved that the Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul approve and adopt the council indemnity policy COU-E-2025-01 as presented. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Councilor Clyburn moves. Can I have a seconder? Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Carried. Okay, takes us down to 15.4, audio and visual recording policy. There's an administrative report. I'll have our CEO speak to it.
Thank you. So what you have before you here is to replace the existing audio and video recording policy for the municipality. So the RM updated the audio video policy in April of 2025. The purpose of this policy is to guide the use of municipalities' surveillance system and its expansion to enhance safety and security of employees, the public property or involving RM property to reduce risk, liability, exposure, and while complying with the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act and other applicable legislation. Council has two options today: to approve the policy or not. Proposed changes to the policy include a new clause referencing the release of record to law enforcement agencies and to update Schedule A to include camera locations at Rivercrest, River Springs Estates, River Springs Grove, Lister Rapids, and Riverdale. You have a resolution before you for consideration.
Anyone have any questions for the CEO? None? Okay, I'll read the resolution. Be it resolved that the Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul approve and adopt the council and video recording policy SUP-E-2025-01 as presented. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Councilor Paquin moves. Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Down to 15.5, which is the MWSP annual budget, capital budget increase. I'll have the Chief Administrative Officer speak to this.
So unfortunately, there's no report for this, but there is a copy of the correspondence received from the Manitoba Municipal Administrators Association. Essentially, what they're looking and calling upon is its membership, which is the RM and all the memberships, RMs and municipalities that are part of it, to consider formally supporting and presenting a motion of council to lobby the government for increased funding to the Water Services Board. That's what you'll have before you this evening for consideration.
Any questions to the CEO? So they're asking for, so once we pass this, this is a resolution for you to
Yes, so this is a resolution. I'm just going to read the resolution, sorry. Yeah, I believe actually, and I would actually make a friendly amendment to the resolution, the last statement of the resolution. So not only are you supporting, as stated there, but you direct administration to write a letter in support of. That's probably what's missing from this.
Okay. Any other questions? None? Okay, so we'll, I'll read the resolution. Whereas the vast majority of Manitoba municipalities are in dire need of the Manitoba Water Services Board financial, professional, and/or related subject matters expertise assistance for every aspect of water and wastewater projects and initiatives. And whereas the provincial economy, municipal, residential, and commercial growth, community development opportunities, climate resiliency, public health, convergent federal or provincial programs are at serious risk of being postponed, canceled, or suboptimally advanced because the MWSP is critically undersubscribed with projects and at current funding levels has, oversubscribed with projects and at current funding levels has a seriously compromised financial capabilities to complete even a fraction of the queued projects required to drive local prosperity, health, safety, and livability. Be it resolved that the Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul fully supports an immediate and annual increase to the MWSP capital budget beginning in 2026 to 100 million from the current 24 million. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Council Paquin moves. Council Bichetti seconds it.
But we want to add that.
Direct the administration to write a letter.
That we direct administration to
write a letter confirming this support or something along those lines. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, any other comments? Okay, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? Yes, we
Yeah.
did. Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Down to 15.6, Community Safety Officer Program. Do you have a report?
Yeah, Council, you have a report before you tonight. Again, the purpose of this report is to authorize administration to contact the province of Manitoba regarding the establishment of a community safety officer program in the RM of West St. Paul. So the Safety Officer Program is a community-based public safety model under Manitoba's Police Services Act. It aims to let municipalities play a greater role in addressing lower-risk public safety issues so that regular police can focus on more serious crime. Community safety officers work in collaboration with local policing authority to enhance public safety by implementing crime prevention strategies and initiatives, enforcing certain provincial statutes, laws, for example, traffic-related duties like inspecting vehicle equipment, removing unsafe vehicles, stopping off-road vehicles, etc., maintaining a visible presence within the community to deter unsafe and undesirable behavior, connecting social service providers with persons in need, and assisting local policing authorities in nonviolent, non-serious, or less serious matters, taking witness statements, managing accidents or minor crime scenes, transporting detained persons, helping with reports from the public, etc. Council has two options, again, this evening, to authorize administration to reach out to the province of Manitoba officially regarding the establishment of the CSO program or not. The CSO program is established via the Police Services Act with specific amendments that expand authority and clarify powers. Municipalities must enter into an operating agreement with local policing authority and the provincial minister. The agreement spells out how the program will be managed, supervised, financed, and how complaints are handled. Council has a resolution before it this evening.
Any questions to the CEO? Go ahead, Councilor
No,
Clyde.
I fully support this program. It's long overdue. We've grown to such an extent. We've, doubled our population in the last 5 years. There's been a lot of incidents this summer that I had to deal with in my communities, and a community safety officer would have just been fantastic. So I really think we need this complement now.
Any other comments? Can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
We didn't have a mover or seconder, so I'll move.
Oh, okay.
Second.
Sorry.
Okay. Did you read the resolution?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay,
Okay,
let's
I'll
start
read the
over.
resolution.
Let's start over.
Sorry, we
Read
gotta
the
get used to the order here, because
Okay,
it's always been different, sorry.
That's all right.
let's start the whole thing over.
Okay, well, be it resolved that the Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul authorize administration to contact the province of Manitoba regarding the establishment of Community Safety Officer Program in the municipality. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Councilor Kaiba moves, Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay, 15.7, Community Safety Officer Vehicles. I see there is an administrative report, so.
Yes, I'll read this one as well as quickly as I can here. So again, this is tied to the previous motion that council just made. the purpose of this is to sole source purchase of 2 community safety officer vehicles. So the Council of RM of West St. Paul is taking steps to establish a CSO program within the municipality. The CSO program is a community-based public safety model under Manitoba's Police Services Act. Council passed Resolution 2025-379 at September 11th, 2025 regular planning meeting to approve changes to the municipal organizational chart, which included the addition of 2 community safety officer positions. Council has the options tonight to approve the sole source purchase of 2 community police officer vehicles, or to not approve the purchase. The procurement of 2 community safety officer vehicles will take approximately 6 months following the issuance of a purchase order. So to prepare for the operation of the CSO program, vehicles need to be ordered. The Ford Police Interceptor Utility or F1 Police Responder can be ordered directly from specialized dealerships like Vickers Ford that cater to fleet sales. The vehicles are built for durability and work and come with features such as lights, sirens, speakers, pre-wiring, essentially a police-ready sort of package. Council has a resolution before it this evening. I think 4 different elements of that resolution. And any questions you may have?
Any questions? I'm just wondering, maybe just go into detail, why would this be a sole source? Because there's different car manufacturers, there's different.
There is not many, there's very, very few that actually produce a police-ready sort of product. As you'll notice, the lion's share of police vehicles that are out there today are either Ford Explorers have a police interceptor model, or a Chevy Tahoe traditionally. And so there's a significant price difference in the size of those vehicles and the capabilities that the program needs. Ford Explorers will more than enough suit the requirements of these positions that we're gonna, and the function that we're gonna have them play within the municipality. They're all-wheel drive vehicles, so they're gonna be good for all 4 seasons, and they're at actually a fairly decent price compared to anything else that we could potentially be exploring or looking at. So
The price difference between manufacturers is different? Is that what I understand?
a Chevy Tahoe would be about $20,000, $25,000 more per unit.
Okay.
Yeah. Larger vehicle.
Oh, it's a larger vehicle?
Chevy Tahoe would be like a full-size SUV. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So this is a smaller version and there's only.
Yeah, I would call it a mid-size SUV, but it's traditionally what you see most of all the RCMP vehicles for the most part, if they're not Tahoes, are probably Ford Explorers. If you've seen East St. Paul's CSO program, they're running Ford Explorers, so it's City of Winnipeg, Ford Explorers.
And for Vickers, is the only one that sells them, or?
They have a fleet process that, these are special ordered through Ontario or wherever they're manufactured. So they are one of the options, but they're all the same price no matter which ones we're purchasing this through. So.
Okay, so like there's no one else in Manitoba that, okay.
It would be the same price from any Ford dealership, really. This just happens to be that they're close to us, so.
Okay.
I have a related question. So just on this, and it kind of harkens back to the first report, the Community Safety Officer Program. So once you contact the province of Manitoba, approximately how long does it take to establish the program? Approximately, like.
It is not a quick, sorry, how long?
6 to 8 months or around there?
I would say that's probably, we're trying to push for 6 months. There's a lot of different steps that need to happen for this. We're moving a number of the different pieces ahead as fast as we can, but there is CSO program requires authorization and appointment by the provincial government. There's a number of steps that are required to get to that sort of level. Then you're resourcing or hiring staff. There's a higher level of training required for CSOs. Sometimes you could, there is the ability to hire some that have already received the training, so that could speed up timeframes if you're lucky enough to secure some of those individuals, or you might have to send someone away to training.
Oh, I see.
A number of those pieces, there's some that are within our control, some that were not. But a strategy that we may employ or look forward here is actually bolstering up our bylaw piece first, getting the staff into place and starting working on some of the functions. And then once we get certification and we're able to kind of flip the switch into a CSO program, then we're already set and ready to go.
Okay, thank you.
Well, let's add on to Councillor Clybur's, Councillor request. So if you were to hire certified police officer, would they still require that?
They
No?
would not. That training would be equivalent. Yeah.
Yeah, so then if that happens, then that can move the program quicker. If
At
one-
least that component for sure. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, so, any other questions? None? Okay, so now I'll read the resolution. Be it resolved. Be it resolved that Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul approve the sole source purchase of 2 community service vehicles from Vicker Ford at a cost of $73,935, including PST and GST each. And be it further resolved that up to $10,000 per vehicle be approved for incidental costs related to the procurement of the 2 community safety officer vehicles. And be it further resolved that these funds be borrowed from the capital reserve. And be it further resolved that the rural municipality of West St. Paul reserves the right to withdraw from this purchase without penalty if, in the opinion of the CAO, the terms of the agreement are not in the best interest of the municipality. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Patcan moves. Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried.
Mayor, if I may, I think we better extend the meeting if we want to get through the next 3 items.
Are we going in camera?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, okay. Okay. So I'll have, do I just say, can I have a motion to extend the meeting from 10 o'clock to 10:30?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Patcan.
Second.
Councilor Patcan moves. Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Okay. Now we're going in camera. Okay. Shall I read the resolution first?
Yep.
Be it resolved that in accordance with subsection 152 of the Municipal Act, Council does now move in camera to discuss matters that are preliminary stages and respecting with discussions in public could prejudice the municipality ability to carry out its activities or negotiations. Be it further resolved that in accordance with section 83(1)D of the Municipal Act, any issues that are discussed are kept confidential until discussed at a regular meeting of council. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Councilor Kleiber moves. Councilor Bichetti seconds. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, carried. Okay.
Would you like to call for the vote?
Can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Okay, so we have come out of camera. We've had 3 agreements that we discussed. We're going to have resolutions for them. First one is 18.3.1 Supplement Agreement for Commercial Use 2723. Be it resolved that the rural municipality of West St. Paul approves supplement agreement for conditional use 27/23, and be further resolved that the mayor and the CEO be authorized to sign the supplemental agreement. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Councilor Kleiber moves. Can I have a seconder,
I'll
please?
second.
Councilor Bichetti seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. 18.3.2 Supplement Agreement S162668. Be it resolved that the Council of Rural Municipality of West St. Paul approve the supplement agreement for 3 Elm Drive, and further be it resolved that the mayor and CEO be authorized to sign the supplemental agreement. Could I have a mover, please?
move.
Councilor Bichetti moves. Can I have a
Second.
Councilor Patcan seconds it. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. 18.3.3, Development Agreement BL 2024/4. Be it resolved that the Council of the Rural Municipality of West St. Paul approve the development agreement for rezoning bylaw BL 2022-04, and be further resolved that the mayor and CEO be authorized to sign the development agreement. Could I have a mover, please?
I'll move.
Councilor Bichetti moves. Can I have a seconder, please?
Second.
Councilor Kleiber seconds it. Any comments, questions? Can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. We're down to 19, adjourn the meeting. Be it resolved that this meeting of council stand adjourned at 10:27 PM on Thursday. Can I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Councilor Kleiber moves. Councilor
Second.
Pat Can seconds it. Can I call for the vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Right on.